It's become an annual tradition here as Somerset and Durfee meet up on the gridiron to open the high school football season. Hello again, everybody. I'm Evan Massoud, high atop the press box at Durfee, joined by BJ McDonald for tonight's broadcast to open up the football season. It was a tough year last year for the Hilltoppers, 0-10. They had some winless seasons a few years back. This one last year, not where the team wanted to be, but we expected some growing pains. That was something that Coach Brown told me on day one year ago. Will this year be different?
I mean, I think everybody hopes so. You never want to go through a season and not winning a game, but I think the guys that did stick it out through the whole year will come back stronger. I'm sure they learned a lot about that, and I don't think anybody wants to have those same feelings that you have, week in and week out getting beat. I think it's a winnable game here tonight, and hopefully can get off on the right foot.
Somerset and Durfee squared off on opening day each of the last 4 or 5 seasons, and Somerset's taken them all. Last year, a 6-0 loss for Durfee in Somerset, and that score came within the last 2 minutes of the game. It was a controversial game. There were a lot of calls that went against Durfee or non-calls that people felt should have been called, but that's in the past. What can we expect from Somerset?
Well, you know that you're not going to get the calls when you play in Somerset, so maybe we'll get a few calls today now that the game is in Fall River. But, Somerset, they're going to come right at you, I think. They've always run that real tight splits, and they run the superpower, try to run it down your throat. So hopefully they can come out and stop the run and get on the board first and play with a lead.
Well, we saw a lead in the game that you and I did beat last year. The Dartmouth game, which Durfee ended up losing late in the game, but it was a pretty good game. We're hoping for the same here on opening night. Dorian's in the air. It's windy. Some rain is expected, but the players are going to play through it. Stick around on Fred TV. Kickoff just around the corner. Welcome back, folks, to Mac Aldrich Field. Evan Massoud and BJ McDonald with you for opening night football. Just had the coin toss. Hilltoppers won the toss and have elected to receive on the opening kickoff. So, B, we were just talking off camera, and some new rules. Durfee, state of Massachusetts, no longer playing under the NCAA rules. One of the changes being here that we have a 12-minute quarters now versus 11. Durfee was playing 11. Some of the lower divisions like Diamond, they were playing 10-minute quarters, but now we're going to see more standardized rules across the board. It was, we said Mass and Texas, that were the only 2 schools in the country, right, playing NCAA.
Yeah, that's what athletic director Brad Busted said. It was Massachusetts and Texas playing by NCAA rules. Massachusetts, the board or whoever, the higher-ups, voted this year to change from NCAA rules to federation rules, so we'll see how that plays out.
Fielded at the 10 and stopped just at about the 20-yard line. You're going to see returning for Durfee, I'm going to see Javon Holly doing the bulk of that. Kind of going to be all over the field. The sophomore had a tremendous freshman season playing basketball, and he will be a force on Durfee athletics for the remainder of his high school career. He really made an impact last year. You've got to love when you get a freshman who is just so serious about it and really shows up to play, regardless of the sport.
Yeah, and I'm a big fan of guys that play multiple sports. I think that at the high school level, you should play a sport every season. I think the muscles and everything that you do from football to basketball, it translates.
Hilltoppers go to the ground on the first play from scrimmage, and it is a first down. It could have been a lot more. Jason Hall with the carry. Handed off by Isaiah Thomas, the QB for the Hilltoppers, number 4. Hall is number 1.
And those first 3 guys that we've mentioned there, Isaiah and Jason Hall and Javon, those 3 guys have played together since they were little kids playing with the Fall River Falcons. They had a nice run. There's a handful of those guys on the team that are sophomores now that have all been playing, and hopefully they're going to keep developing.
And I think, and that's the thing, we mentioned this in the open, that last year I did preseason sound with Coach Brown, and he said, yeah, we're going to have some growing pains this year. Obviously, nobody expects an 0-10 season, but it was known that there'd be some growing pains, and the Hilltoppers had tremendous difficulty putting points up on a regular basis last year. But that's because they were young. Having a season under their belts, the kids bought in. I talked to to Taylor again right before Thanksgiving, and he said, you know, the kids are sticking with it. They're not getting down, and that's the best part about it. You got to just show up and keep grinding it out. Another handoff. Ooh, good dive, but a kind of a funky landing.
We'll take that, though. It's positive yards. It's third and manageable. You're ahead of the sticks. It's positive. The clock's moving. You know, 3 positive plays.
So that's going to bring, that splits the difference there. So 5 yards down, 5 yards to go for the first down. So it'll be 3rd and 5.
I thought he got a little bit more there. It looked like he was on the other side of the 40, but I guess the ref down there can see better than me.
I was going to say, I think maybe he went to the sidelines. He probably hit out of bounds because he certainly landed past the 40. You're right. They do hand it off, and going to be stopped after about a 2-yard gain. So going to be 3 yards short after the Hilltoppers did get the first down. Stopped on 3rd down just across the 40. That was Niger. Niger, one of 4 captains for the Hilltoppers. He's number 10. Joe Dion Medina, number 14. Javin Bobola, number 58, and Eli Robitaille, number 68. Those are the 4 captains for Durfee. For the Somerset Berkeley Blue Raiders, we have Owen Santos, number 51, and Seamus Fennelly, number 64. And the Hilltoppers will punt it away.
Now they're going for it.
Oh, they're going to go for it. 4th and 4, maybe even 3. It's a short.
Oh, he moved.
That's
no. The left tackle.
Yep, saw it too. False start. And Coach McDonald, a little frustrated here.
Well, I don't think the ref saw it right away. And
No.
then the coach went nuts on the sideline, and I think that's
Right.
when he said, oh, I got to pull my flag out of my pocket.
Right. So that's going to change things here. You know, we mentioned that BJ was class of 2007 with me, played football, and you coached here for a few years. You came on board when Taylor did, right? His first year?
I did, yeah. Taylor, when Taylor started coaching, it was our senior year. I played with Coach Timmy Powers, and Coach Nathan Levesque's brother, Jordan, was a couple years ahead of me. So when Taylor came back to coach, I helped him out. I had the time, and unfortunately now it just the timing of it, the hours that these guys put in, it's like a full-time job.
Favorable bounce. I think the wind probably helped. That's going to roll to about the 15, 16-yard line, and it's Jason Hall who's going to be doing the punting in addition to carrying the ball for the Hilltoppers. So that was a good punt.
Good punt, unfortunate penalty. So
Yeah.
I don't know if you saw the jamboree last week, but Case beat Durfee 7-0 in a half of football. And from what I was told, the Durfee played pretty well, but it was mistakes like jumping off sides or a bad snap or, different things, a fumble that just kill drives. And, when it's 4th and 4, you can go for it. But when it's 4th and 9, you got to punt it. And
Yeah.
so you'll hope that early in the season you kind of nip those things in the bud and keep them moving forward.
Good tackle for a loss on Durfee's first defensive play.
It's like Jay Hall again, number 1. Is that him?
Yeah, that's
or is
Jay
that
Hall.
number 6? It might have been Jaden.
Jaden Lewis is he's a corner.
Yeah, I think it was Jaden, number 6.
I think you're right. 'Cause I'm not seeing him. Well, one is on the Hall is on. Hall's going to be on both sides of the ball too. But really, looking up and down this roster, there's not a lot of upperclassmen. It's still a young team for Durfee, which, that enthusiasm, the fight, the want to play. It was not a loss, by the way, on the first down. I misspoke there. So 2nd down, it was a gain of.
No, they lost 5. It's third. It's going to be 3rd and 11 now.
Oh, 3rd and 11.
They lost 5 on first down.
They did lose.
Got a couple yards there.
I missed the first down marker. It's blending in with Somerset. So you're right. Yeah, loss of about 5. They get back now. They're going to be 3rd and 11, so they still haven't gotten back to the original line of scrimmage.
This is outside Somerset's comfort zone. They're used to 3-4 yards in a cloud of dust too. So
right. And again, same formation. Coach
Little
Freitas,
reverse, double handoff.
it just doesn't change. And why fix what ain't broke? Because
they've had a lot of success. That's
have.
for sure.
But it is a 3 and out for the Hilltoppers. Don't expect Somerset to go for it. Not in this part of the field.
But don't jump off sides. Stay on sides. Watch the ball.
Right. Durfee's defense was not terrible last year. I would say that actually was probably one of their strong suits. Again, due to the offensive woes, they had some good. They had some good defensive games.
They're going for it here.
It appears they are. 4th and 4 from way down in Durfee territory. Oh, and they got the false start.
And it's what we just said, Ev.
Yeah.
It's what we just said.
Now Somerset's clapping, Durfee's clapping, but I think
it's going to be on Durfee.
Yeah, it's on Durfee.
The kid from Somerset went in motion, and the kid from Durfee jumped.
Yep.
You can go in motion in the backfield, but and he might have been all right if he got back. I don't know, but
I don't think he didn't get back in time.
You give him
obviously
a free first down after you get 3 stops. It's just shoot yourself in the foot.
Yeah.
Giving the Raiders a first down.
And you kind of had to know that they weren't going to go for it there, right? I mean, that was probably by design. If we if we don't, I mean, I don't know who punts for Somerset, but hey, if they don't jump, back up and just kick it.
Right.
Look at this.
Going to the ground, little end around the middle of the pile, couple yards gained that looked like Ethan Robideau, a junior.
That'll bring up second down.
4-yard carry. I have to say, and I feel like a broken record, I say it every year, but man, after doing baseball from end of March all the way through the summer, it's such a nice change of pace once fall sports come around to have field hockey, soccer, football, girls volleyball, something that's timed, you know, and just something different to look at than behind the fence, behind home plate, watching balls and strikes come in, you know. That said, saw some really great action during the spring, a spring that there was a lot of adversity for the softball and baseball here because of the construction. Durfee with a tremendous baseball season, cut a little short at the hands of Attleboro. They were tremendous. That last playoff game that Durfee had, they lost, was really just probably one of the better high school games I've ever seen. No errors, clean pitching, no walks, just really just a solid game. A 2-0 loss, though, for Durfee, and that eliminated them in the South semis. And we went on to see some good summer ball here on Fred TV as well with Fall River Independent Baseball League, Fribble. That is the first pass, and the tackle made. I think he's going to be short, but it's going to be very, very close.
It is going to be close.
By number 10, Montero.
Montero with the tackle, and it's going to depend on the spot here.
Pretty good job by Niger coming up, sure tackle there as soon as the kid caught the ball, but it's going to be close.
Oh, it's going to be close, and they're going to call for a measurement too. So while they do that, you know, mentioned about summer Fribble baseball, Legion baseball. Legion did fairly well this year. Fribble had some great stuff as well at Chew Park, always do. They wrapped up their season just a couple weeks ago, and I did run it on Wednesday's soccer game, Durfee boys soccer opening day. They won 1-0 against Fairhaven, but we'll run that last Fred TV Sports Report that I aired 2 weeks ago. Half a yard, so they're short. But you'll get to see that at halftime as well, so we'll run that.
So watch the ball again now.
Right, watch the ball.
Don't give him another free one.
Watch the ball and no jumping offside. You had the false start, a little over anxious. First 2 sides of the ball for Durfee, offense and defense of the season. So I gotta say, I like the red jerseys.
Are those new this year?
I feel like they had them last year. The black ones with the italicized numbers.
Couldn't see the numbers.
And the gradient. Yeah, it went from red to black. It was a great concept, but man, it was just a nightmare for me. I can tell you that. And
he stuffed them.
Oh, I think they stuffed. They did get the stop on 4th down. Hilltopper's going to take over in Somerset territory. It appears.
I don't know.
I think so. Oh, it's going to depend on the spot, but I don't think he got there.
Oh my God, that's a horrible spot.
And you just moved it another 2 inches.
What I tell you, Ev, in the pregame, you never, ever, ever get calls when you play for Durfee. You just don't. I thought maybe since we were at home, you'd get one, but that is a horrible, horrible spot. Oh, too bad with Federation rules they don't have instant replay, because I think we got it.
Chris Thomas and Taylor Brown on the sideline. Coach Thomas was more heated than Taylor. Thomas did not like that spot at all. Going end around.
No.
There goes Robideau. for a first down and quite a bit more.
I looked like the kid from Durfee might have got sucked inside, and they got around the corner there. And
For a first down for the Raiders.
everything has gone right for Somerset on this first drive. And, you know, you gave them a free one with the penalty. Then they get the spot here on 4th and short. Now they're all of a sudden they're on in Durfee territory on the 48-yard line with a little bit of momentum.
Coach Brown still chatting with one of our linesmen here.
Same play the other way.
Yep. That's
There
a
you
face
go.
mask. But they take him down for a loss. You consider that a stiff arm or a straight up face mask? Because he was right in the face, let me tell you.
Like he was, yeah. He didn't grab it though, so maybe that's why they don't call it. That's all right. We'll take the 5-yard, 4-yard loss in 2nd and long.
So it backs them up to the other side of the field. Back into their own territory at the Somerset 49. Ends up being a loss of 3. So 2nd and 13 coming for the Blue Raiders. And nice to hear the Hilltoppers
Double
getting loud. Oh,
handoff.
double handoff is right, and that has Durfee confused. They do get the stop, but it's about a 10-yard pickup for Somerset, and it makes 3rd down a lot simpler. It'll be like 3rd and 3 here.
And probably 2 chances to pick it up. So they've run that a couple times already and seem to work all right. They run that super power, you know, they sweep, and then come back with the double handoff.
One of the Blue Raiders down right now with an apparent injury. Both trainers out on the field. You see the leg stretches. That never is a good thing. Usually indicates
a cramp too in the.
It could be. It's cool. It is cool. You know, I have to be honest. You get the hurricane here looming offshore, and usually it's a little bit warmer when these things come up because they're bringing all that hot air from the tropics, and it's really not that warm here for opening day compared to the week we had. 62 degrees here just a little bit after game time. So
we'll take that though. You don't need to be out here at 90 degrees.
oh yeah, I know, trust me.
I'm not ready for summer to be over, but I'm also not ready to stand in the booth and sweat with the 100 degrees in here.
Yeah. We had we had a game maybe 3 or 4 years ago, probably 4 years ago, when Tripoli was another problem, or West Nile was a problem, and I think Victor Pereira was still our athletic director. They moved games to Saturday afternoon, and man, it was like week 6, like Columbus Day weekend. Stan came to town.
Oh, I remember that game. I was coaching.
You were
at that
coaching,
time, yeah.
and it was like
Yeah, it
85
was
degrees,
hot.
humid, and you guys had the swarm of bees
Yeah,
up
it was
on.
hot.
Oh my gosh, that was just like
Well,
call
that
an
was-
exterminator. Let me, and I'll go call the game from home.
Yeah,
Give
yeah.
me a roll. Oh my gosh.
Usually you get them, you know, early in the year. Usually, you know, by mid-October you're okay.
Right.
Because I remember we played at UMass Dartmouth when I was here too, and the first game of the year,
Yeah.
we had no field, so we played there, and it had to be 100 because the field turf gets so hot too.
It does.
It's
Yeah.
got to be 5 to 10 degrees warmer. It just absorbs the sun and the heat.
Right. All right, we're going to take a timeout here as we're still in the injury timeout on the field, so we're going to step aside and we'll be back with the conclusion of the first quarter. 3:03 on the clock, scoreless game. Stick around.
Honor, courage, sacrifice, pride, our city. Fall River has traditionally been in the forefront of honoring our nation's soldiers, sailors, Marines, and airmen. Vietnam veterans took the initiative to secure rights to an 80% size replica of the Healing Wall for Veterans Bicentennial Park. The names of over 58,000 fallen heroes will be engraved on the 360-foot long replica wall. 100% of the money raised benefits the building of our Vietnam Veterans Memorial Wall in Fall River. Help build our wall, which is scheduled to open in 2020. The meaning, the spirit, and the value of the wall is everyone's. Be part of this exceptional, once-in-a-lifetime project. To make a donation, please visit VietnamMemorialWall.org or connect with us at Facebook.com.
Welcome back to the action here out of the injury timeout. We just saw the player that was down. It appears it may be a knee injury. We saw some stretching going on. Picking up here, Somerset mid-drive, 3rd and 3, and they're going to get the first down, it sure looks like, and it was, once again, Robideau with the carry. But we just saw the injured player again, couldn't see the number, but he was carried off, couldn't walk, so that's never a good sign.
No, never, especially the first game of the year. I mean, I thought maybe it looked like a cramp at first, but I don't think he would have been carried off if he was just a leg cramp.
Yeah, he was down for a while before they decided to carry him off. So unfortunate, you know, injuries are part of the game. You just never like to see it, but it is a reality with a contact sport. So it's next man up for Somerset, and it's the next set of downs as well, as the Blue Raiders are driving here their first possession of the football. And that is, Drew Romero, number 5, and he's going to take it to the house for the opening score. 6-0 Blue Raiders, with 2:10 to play, 2:11 to play here in the first.
Well, not the start you were looking for. You had him pinned back twice. It was 4th and 4. We jumped off sides. Then it was 4th and 1, and they get a 1.5 yards. And then those two plays, those two conversions seemed to suck the life out of the defense a little bit, because then it was positive yards, positive yards, positive yards, and then they get through, break one for a touchdown. And that's Somerset's offense. I mean, you miss one tackle and they're gone, and that's why they've had so much success. They run the same plays, and they've been running them since Coach Freitas has been over there.
Right.
And it's just line up and try to stop us.
Going for 2. Robert Shaker under center, handoff, and it's good, 8-0 the score. As Somerset takes the lead here. Hey, it took us till nearly the end of the game last year to get our first points. It was a scoreless game through 3.5 quarters. Seeing some offense here just 10 minutes in.
And then I think you're going to see the Hilltoppers move the ball. I mean, it was the first drive of the season. It's a lot of sophomores out there and juniors. They did get a first down on the first play.
Right.
They were, positive yards, and again, jumped off sides on offense, and had to punt it away. Had a nice punt, pinned him back, and Somerset turns around and goes 90 yards. But I think you'll see Durfee move the ball. I think the offense is going to put it together this year. They struggled to move the ball a lot last year, and I think they're going to hopefully rebound here and put some points on the board.
See, a group like this that is close-knit, you said they had tremendous success with the Falcons. They were young last year. Each year they're going to get better, and I have to say, you try not to look too far ahead, but these guys have the potential to be a really great senior team in 2 years. After being in high school varsity for 3 years, a tight-knit group, this could
it can go one of two ways, I think. I mean, when you have a lot of success when you're young, in middle school, you're not used to losing. So when you start losing games, it's very easy to put your head down and, but it looks like we're going to
there's a hole.
Here.
There is a hole, and he's going to take down the sidelines. Cuts back in, going to hold the ball across the 40 with the return.
Brian Cruz,
yep. He took it back.
So you can take back everything I just said, because now you've got the momentum. You've got the crowd going. You're inside Somerset's territory, so you don't have to worry about it's one score. It's one play that they broke, and you're right back in the game.
Hey, just on a side note here, after that great play, how about our official just hurling that bad boy to the sideline of Somerset? He had a pretty good-looking spiral. Sign him up. All right, Hilltoppers starting from the 40-yard line. And a whistle. We get a timeout, I think?
Yeah, I think timeout. They looked a little confused on that formation. The guy that was lined up top, I don't know, he was supposed to be on the line. He wasn't on the line. It looked like he stepped off, and the other guy went in motion. But change of possession, settle down. You had a nice run. It's you're in Somerset's territory. Get a play you feel confident in on first down. Get some positive yards. Play ahead of the chains. I'll use all the football cliches.
I know, you're rolling them off left and right. Save something for the second half, No, but seriously, you know, it's one of those where we get excited here after a big play, but then we also got to kind of take it back now. All right, back to business. And that's kind of got to be the mindset on the field. Great return, but guess what? You still got 40 yards before you can score.
Right.
You got to focus on the next play and just get right back to it.
And you've got 40 seconds in between plays to refocus and, okay, where do I need to be and what do I need to do?
So that was a quick timeout. You mentioned the 40 seconds. That's right. It's the minute the ball is spotted, you got 40 seconds for the play. Fake the handoff. They're going to go inside. No, they're going to keep it. Oh, and staying alive is Thomas. He got lucky there. He should have been down in the backfield. He skipped away and was able to get some positive yards.
Again, though, they looked a little bit confused. The
Yeah.
guys were not on the same page. I mean, Isaiah did a nice job getting a couple yards there, but it didn't seem like everybody was on the same page there.
Well, 3 yards gained, or we're saying 2nd and 8. I think it's a little shorter than 8, but we're kind of in between yards. So we'll stay positive. 2nd and a long 7.
I think you got to give Somerset a little taste of their own medicine and try to run it right at him.
Thomas wants to throw, and he's going across the middle, and it's complete for a first down.
But what do I know? Great job, great protection up front by the offensive line. Nice job by Isaiah.
This is a
Step
great
up,
throw.
made a nice throw, nice catch.
He found Medina, number 14, one of the captains we mentioned earlier. I mean, he has that right across the middle there, right over the middle of the field, thread the needle. Really good pass. Another Blue Raider is down. 34 is down. We don't have it. No, 30, and that's Robideau. So if Somerset loses, he's their go-to running back. That would be a huge loss for Somerset if he is out for any period of time. He's playing defense right now. I like seeing that Durfee went to the air. Don't see many passing plays in high school to begin with. And if Thomas, obviously small sample size, right? First pass of the game, first pass of the season, it's complete. That's great. But if that's something Durfee can build on and even have like a 20% game with the air that's somewhat successful, using it even 1/5 of the time, that gives your offense, the defense rather, something to look at, because
It's just one more thing for them to think about,
Yeah.
of course. Absolutely, and that was a great job, like you said, but it starts up front with the offensive line, and they did a nice job protecting him, making sure he had the time in the pocket to step up and make a nice throw. And yeah, for sure, as a quarterback, I always want to throw the ball.
we got that's right. I mean, we got a big center there with Robitaille right in the middle, so that should help out Durfee as well. Passing it back, that's a lateral, and it would have been a fumble, but they are recovering. The Hilltoppers trying to make something out of it. It'll still be a loss of yards, but it could have been much, much worse.
Lucky, lucky, lucky there.
Yeah, I've never been a fan of the backwards toss like that, because it's a live ball, and there's just too many things that can go wrong.
And you mentioned throwing the ball. That's why, most teams keep it between the tackles. There's less margin for error, less room for error, when you just hand off and run between the tackles. But at the same time, you got to keep kids interested, and you want to be able to throw the ball around and run the option and have a little bit of fun, I think. But
oh, yeah. All right, 2nd and 14, a loss of 4. Thomas escapes. And I think it may be, we're not sure if it's complete. We can't
He
see.
did catch it, yeah.
Diving catch on the far side. Complete for a gain of about 10, and that was once again Medina.
That's another great job by Thomas there, getting outside the pocket, throwing the ball on the run. I mean, that kid was covered. He just put it where only he could catch it.
So it ends up being a 7-yard pickup. It'll bring up 3rd and 7, and we'll see it on the other side here because we're going to be switching sides. End of the first quarter. on Fred TV. It is 8-0 Somerset, but Durfee driving and close to the red zone. So really, you mentioned the two mistakes, I guess you could say. The two penalties that cost Durfee possession of the ball, and then defensively the stop, and then the questionable spot. It was hard to see where the player actually really went down, but it looked like it was a generous spot. Other than that, really not a bad first quarter for Durfee.
No, not at all. I mean, they broke that one long one, and like you said, that's Somerset's MO. They're going to just run between the tackles, and they're happy with 3 or 4 yards every time because they're going to go for it on 4th down a lot. So
yeah, if
they can stay in, short yardage situations, they're going to keep doing that. And then you slip a tackle, and the guy goes for 40 yards and a touchdown, and just like that, it's 8-0. But, I mean, I think it's something to build on. Like you said, you're driving now. Put some points on the board here and, keep battling.
Now, we've seen some really lopsided opening day scores in the past. I can remember a 35-0 or 35-6 or 7, something like that, where we were down 28-0 before halftime against Somerset. And to be down just to 8-0, of course, that's not the great third down play Durfee was hoping for. Somerset was ready for it, but, it's been a little more competitive against Somerset these past 2 seasons.
Yeah, and I think you've got to give some credit to the coaches for that. You give a lot of credit to the kids for going out and playing the game, but you know what Somerset's going to run. Taylor's seen it every year. You have all summer to prepare for them, and I think you can give them a little bit of credit for, holding them to 7 points last year, and hopefully we can keep them down tonight. But
well, going to go for it on 4th and 8. Kind of don't have a choice. Thomas has some room.
Run it.
He's going to run it, and he's going to, oh,
he got it.
He did get it. Kind of got wrapped around the neck a little bit, but he breaks through, and he gets the first down on 4th and 8. So a big-time conversion for the Hilltoppers.
He's doing it all on this drive.
Are they going to measure? Is it that close?
And that ball rushed by number 4, Isaiah Thomas.
So the QB keeper, but it looks like they're going to measure it.
Of course. It looked like he clearly had it from here, I thought.
Somerset's jumping for joy. It looks like they got the stop. Wow.
I mean, from this angle where we are,
I know,
he looked clearly over the 15-yard line.
Yeah.
It looked like he was inside the 15.
Of course, these lines aren't as bright as they used to be, and it's damp, so you're getting reflectivity from the lights.
Yeah, but, I mean.
But it did look, to me, I would agree. Again, it's one of those, if he was getting dragged and that knee went down beforehand.
Well, it's also one of those things when your program has a history of winning, you tend to get the calls. The ball tends to bounce your way. When you have a history of struggling a little bit, the ball tends to bounce the other way, and the calls tend to go the other way.
Another tough break for Durfee. 2 spots that haven't gone their way. Somerset takes over in what was a real promising drive for the Hilltoppers. And a good first down run for the Blue Raiders.
And that ball rushed by number 5 for the Romero. That'll bring up 2nd down.
Romero carried that one.
He's a tough kid, too. He's the one that scored the touchdown earlier.
I don't think I see number 30 out there, Robideau, so I don't think he's back out. Powering forward for a first down as Somerset will move the chains.
I still can't get over that spot.
Well, you know what's interesting, too, is that they basically started the drive at the 15. So we measure in inches here. That's why they called for the spot, I guess. Well, called for the chains, rather. It's such a tough angle. If we were upstairs and on the roof, 10 feet higher, it probably would have been a little easier to see, too, because we're just a little bit lower here inside. But with the threat of the rain, we got to stay covered.
It's tough to tell who's making the plays in there. Everybody all bunched up like that.
I know.
Can't tell who's making the tackle.
That play goes for a gain of 4, bringing up 2nd down.
Be 2nd and 6 from the 32. This is going to be a big test here for the Hilltoppers D early on because, again, the offense looked pretty good on that last drive. A whistle.
I think Somerset moved there, no? Like called the timeout.
They got the timeout before. So a quick timeout here. One of the other changes here going to, with the football rules, we were discussing the clock. The other is 3 timeouts, which is going to probably move the game along a little quicker, to say the least.
You didn't like each team having 5, 6, what was it, 5 or 6? So you've got 10,
too many.
10 or 12 timeouts a half if both teams use all their timeouts.
And that's the thing. It got down to where we were under 2 minutes, and it was run a play, timeout, run a play, timeout. And I mean, 2 minutes would last you 20 minutes. Really prolong the game. And now it's a little more strategic. You know, you're going to use them sparingly.
I think each team has used 1 to this point.
Yeah. Cheerleaders trying to keep the Hilltoppers fans here in it. We hear some cheering from the fan section. Really good attendance here. On opening day, there was the kind of welcome back bash out in the courtyard, a cookout, kind of a tailgating type thing, which has been a nice tradition over the years to promote attendance to the game and just kind of promote Durfee pride.
Big play here, 3rd and 5 or 6. Even that play, I mean, it didn't feel like he got a yard, but they gave him a yard. I don't know.
We're 2nd and 6, 3rd and 4 now, so it ended up being a 2-yard pickup. Actually, I think it's more like 3rd and 5.
There's a double handoff.
It is, and it's going nowhere. Big time stop for the Hilltoppers on 3rd down.
But they're inside 5 yards, so make sure you watch the ball because it's 4th and 4
Right.
now. So stay on sides. Don't give them another free one.
Made by number 24, Keyshawn Brew. That'll bring up 4th down.
I wonder if the Blue Raiders are going to go for it. Robert Shaker, the QB, just did a quick end around to go talk to coach again. He's going to deliver the play to the huddle.
Well, they don't have a punter listed here, so my guess is if they can't get Durfee to jump, Shaker's going to kick it. That's my guess. But I've been wrong all night, so. Yep, there it is. Good job.
Yeah, they held back, and another timeout burned by the Raiders.
Another timeout call.
And when you have a history of jumping off sides, the other team is going to try to get you to jump off sides. You know, if they know you have a history of shooting yourself in the foot, you know, but don't give it to them. So nice job by the Durfee defense, staying on sides. I think you're probably going to do it again here because they're probably going to try to get you again.
You know, the offsides call you're talking about in that situation of getting called off. No play sticks out bigger in my mind than, you know, the Pats Super Bowl win against the Seahawks. After they got the interception, they're right at the goal line. Everybody in the world knows that the Seahawks, with their big defense, was going to try to come in right away and stop you, get that safety, right, get the ball back. So what did the Pats do? They just line up and stand there. And you had 4 or 5. It was like the whole D line was offside on the Seahawks. So it's a composure thing. Got to stay put. And they did, and you got to stay put here as well.
And they did.
They did. Oh,
here he
they're
goes.
faking it.
Get him.
Shaker
Nice
pushed
job.
out of
He's
bounds.
short. No way.
And he is short. Well, he took a hit too. But Durfee
That's
will
a
have
big
it.
play. That's a great job by Durfee.
Because they were breaking down the field. They were expecting the kick.
That was kind of weird. It was almost like it wasn't drawn up because they didn't block it like it was a fake.
No.
Unless the kid thought he saw something and thought he
Maybe.
could get there. But I'm sure the coach isn't happy if he, you know, did that on his own.
It seemed to me, honestly, it seemed like it was a drawn-up play to me. Bait a few of the Hilltoppers and get him going down the sidelines to open that lane. Because the far side, you had 2 guys breaking down to go defend the return. And that's where Shaker went. So I think it was designed. It just didn't pan out. And Durfee gets great field position here. 2nd consecutive drive starting in Somerset territory.
Got to take advantage of this one. Put
Big
one
time.
in here before the half.
Handing it off on first
There you
down.
go.
Nice spin move, and it'll be a pickup of maybe 6.
And that ball ran by number 3, Javon Holly.
Javon Holly with the carry. It is a 6-yard carry, so 2nd and 4.
And that was right at him. That's a little taste of their own medicine from Somerset, right? We're going to come and we're just going to run it right off tackle, pick up 6 yards right at you. And Durfee looks, the line is as big, if not bigger than, you know, Somerset. Kid up front there, Robitaille, he's a big kid at center, 68.
When was the last time we said we had, you know, a line that big?
Go. That's a nice job.
Tackled.
It was a
and
first down.
It is a first down. The tackle carried him across, and that was Najir Montero carrying that time. And he's making the signal himself. He, you know, he's a big kid too. 5'11", 195 is a pretty good sized running back.
Same thing, got to give credit to the offensive line. There was a
fullback.
nice hole there, pick up 5-6 yards, keep the clock moving, pick up the first down.
First down across the 35. Right about at the 25, rather, excuse me.
Nice job there, too.
Gonna cut back in.
There you
First
go.
down, or maybe just short. We'll see where he went out of bounds, but the indication is it's another first down for the Hilltoppers. And they're in the red zone.
There you go, a little inside run, outside run. Nice hole there, and then a nice move in the hole by Javon there. Made the kid miss, got to the outside. Just outside the 10-yard line, so they can still pick up a first down.
Durfee's best chance of the game, 6:10 on the clock in the half. So we're halfway through the second quarter. High snap, corralled by Thomas. The handoff to Holly.
Great block.
Holly has some room, still spinning, and he's going to be just short of the goal line. And another mad dash for Holly. And it's going to be
Giving him
first
the
and
ball,
goal.
right? Just keep giving him the ball. Give it to him again.
By the Toppers, making it 1st and goal.
Looking at about the, what, 3-yard line?
Yeah, just about the 3 or the 4.
Yeah, somewhere in between there. So
So you got 4 cracks at it.
absolutely. They'll hand it off. Dive forward.
He's in.
Touchdown, Hilltoppers.
Keyshawn Rue. He's the transfer from Brighton High School,
That's
I believe.
right. Coach Powers was really high on him. And the transfer from Brighton, as you said, B, puts Durfee on the board with the 3-run carry. Welcome to the Hilltoppers, Rue. It is 8-6. That's a good answer right there. Big stop on 4th down, and you come back with the short field and you just pound it on the ground.
Yeah, that's a great job. Great job. Big play here, though.
You're right, big play here as well. And they're gonna kick it.
No, they're going.
Oh, they are going for it. So going for the tie here. Thomas
Nice.
gets it off. Oh, and he bounces off, it's caught. Montero with the catch as Thomas was totally screened on that throw. I don't know how he got it off. Great composure from Thomas. That's his 3rd completion of the game, and we are knotted up at 8-8.
Well, you
Good
said
drive.
that was a great drive, great answer, 2-point play. Thomas has been doing it all in the first half. A couple nice runs. He was just short on one of them, but you know, led that drive right down the field. Clean drive. Everything was positive on that drive. You didn't have any negative plays. Everything's moving forward. So now you get the defense rolling, you get the crowd into a little bit. It's a tie game, 5 minutes to go in the half.
Yeah, and the only thing you want to be cautious of now is that Somerset's going to get the ball in the second half. Don't want them to pull off that double. You don't want them to use 5 minutes here and go down and score and leave you with no time in the second quarter. Get the ball right back.
Yeah, and you're right, because they're not, Somerset's not a big play team unless they break one. So you got to be the sure tacklers here. You know, bottle them up. Hopefully you can get a 3 and out and get the ball back.
You know, and it's funny you say that because that's really, I think, where Durfee has excelled over the last 2 years. You know, they beat New Bedford in that defensive shootout here 2 seasons ago before losing last Thanksgiving. But Thanksgiving 2017 here was a win, and it was that defense, what is it, 8-6, I think it was?
Right.
And it was the quick to the ball, the tackle. I mean, it just was tremendous.
Oh, no.
Not right now, not what we're seeing here on this return where Somerset was breaking tackles. But for the most part, even last year there were some big plays, but Durfee was quick to the ball. They've been quick to the ball tonight.
Well, and I think a lot of that too is effort and energy, you know, playing with a little bit of emotion. So you should have that on opening night. You would think that, you know, guys are out here. It happens halfway through the season when you're 0-6 and 0-7, where, you know, the effort level is probably not where it should be, and guys are breaking tackles and running untouched down the sidelines. But the opening night, it's a tie game. You'd like to think that, you know, everybody's full throttle. Nobody's really banged up at any point yet. It's early in the year. But this is a big series, again, before the half to keep them out of the end zone.
They toss it back
Bottle
there
them
to
up there.
Fernando Solizano.
Tackle made in the backfield.
You got to love the energy they got now, though. The Hilltoppers are bouncing around a little bit. They look like they have some confidence, a different team than we saw towards the end of last season.
And we got some rain band coming in here. A quick downpour, driving rain across the lights. A wind-driven little downpour here heading to the field. That's going to shake things up a bit.
Yeah, that probably plays into Somerset's hands a little bit more than Durfee's. They're under center, a little bit easier ball control. Durfee's out of the shotgun.
The bad news, though, is that with the circulation of the storm, it's actually coming from the north, like our typical nor'easter when it passes by. Good stop on second down. It'll be 3rd and long. We may be wet before the end of the night because it's coming on the radar. It's close, but this just a little light downpour that should be pretty quick. It may affect, I wonder if it's going to affect the band, though. I wonder if the band will still play at halftime because, you know, you can't get water down the horns and the woodwinds. It's not going to do much. It's going to be like trying to play underwater.
We'll bring them all in here, though. They can play in here.
Oh, there you go. 3rd and 10. Durfee with back-to-back stops here. Somerset not able to advance the ball. Shaker rolls out. Has a bit of a hole.
He's open. Oh, doesn't matter. Good job.
No, it doesn't matter. He's going to go down. But it is a gain of about 5, so he got them halfway there, and there'll be a decision to make on 4th down. My guess is they will go for it.
I think you're probably right.
Well, here's the thing. It was only a 4-yard carry. We're looking at more than 5 yards here, so.
Although if you punted here, you pin Durfee back. There's only 3 minutes to go. You're getting the ball back. I mean, if it's me, I'm kicking, but. Again, what do I know?
A lot of things go wrong with the punt when you're receiving and it's wet. And the ball is wet. So I would agree.
But you could also argue that it's wet for them to snap
That's
it.
true.
So,
yeah.
You know,
they're lining up.
They're going to go for it.
Not surprised.
Coach Freitas has won a lot of games.
He certainly has. Oh, and a timeout. It looks like Somerset just burned their last one of the half.
I think he wanted to think about it a little bit too.
Right.
I bet he's got a few coaches in his ears. A couple of them are saying go for it. A couple of them are saying call timeout. So let's call a timeout and think about it.
Oh yeah, it's
if
a whole
it's me,
other
I'm
game.
kicking you.
It's a whole other game with the coaches and having to discuss on the headsets and stuff. And I know that from when I used to shoot the highlights up on the roof. That, you know, you guys would be up there with headsets talking to Taylor. Taylor's trying to talk with the coaches on the sidelines. And I don't know how you guys were ever able to even communicate because, I mean, seriously, it must have been a little bit of
Well, I think
madness.
at times, too, especially when you're the one who's making the call, at the end of the day, it's Coach Brown or it's Coach Freitas who's going to decide whether or not they're going to go for it. You can hear a lot of different voices in your head, and it's like sometimes like, hey, everybody shut up and let me think about it.
Well, here's the biggest thing is we saw the fake last time as Shaker is back there, and let's see, he does drop kick it. It's going straight up, though.
Get away from it.
Not going to be that deep. Yeah, that's right. Don't
Look
touch
at
it.
Look at that. It's only about a net of 4 or 5 yards.
Seriously, yeah. So I think the wind shear really, the Hilltoppers can thank Hurricane Dorian for that one.
Yeah, that's huge. That's huge. I mean, I guess that's the other thing you don't take into account for us as we're sitting in here saying, yeah, kick it, is the wind, because that thing died in died out, and now you give Durfee pretty good field position and just under 3 minutes to go. And I think if you're Coach Brown, you go for it here. You got to try to put one in before the half.
They're starting at the 35. That's decent. That's not terrible field position. Anytime you're, you know, ahead of the 30, that's good field position. You know, you're more than halfway to midfield. And they get, like you said, 2:51 to play here in the first half. We're tied at 8. Durfee had the last score.
Here he is again.
Oh, look at that.
Hold that ball.
Yeah. How about that dash for Rue? Unbelievable. Just refusing to quit. Kept pumping the legs. And it's a first down right at midfield for the Hilltoppers. A 15-yard carry for Rue.
It's a great run right there. A lot of determination, just refusing to go down. Had me a little nervous holding the ball with one hand.
I know. But I'll tell you, that was a great run. He earns himself a quick trip to the sidelines for a shot of Gatorade.
It's a little bit of thunder lightning for the Hilltoppers. He's a bigger runner, kind of more like a bowling ball downhill runner. And then you got Holly out here. Now he's going to get it and try to get outside. We've seen him. You know, there it is.
Look at the speed for
Good
Holly.
speed for him
First
down
down
the sideline.
First down and way more. Across the 20, inside the red zone on one play.
Oh, no, a flag. What did I, it's been the theme of the night, Ev. You know, the Hilltoppers just do not get calls.
No, and you see Coach is really, he's ready to break the headset here. He is not happy at all. I didn't see anything on that side, mind you.
I didn't see it either.
I mean, we're a long ways away, but.
It's a continuous theme, you know. It's just a continuous, I don't know, you know. Have some choice words, I can imagine.
It's frustrating.
In high school football, I mean, the call is holding there. You could throw a flag and call holding on every single play if you wanted to. You know, so put the flag away. Nobody's here to see you, and let the kids play the game.
Mm-hmm. So instead of positive yardage, it's a 10-yard penalty from the spot of the foul, which actually moves Durfee now back a yard. So they lost a yard on what should have been a 30-plus yard dash. They're coming back a yard.
That is insanely frustrating.
Mm-hmm.
There it is again.
Going with Keyshawn. Another flag.
Who's this one on now? There was no time for a hold on that one. It's straight downhill. It's a straight dive up the middle.
That's
so
garbage.
This guy's just going to continuously throw the flag all night, it sounds like, or it looks like.
Mm-hmm.
Unbelievable. And I don't even understand. I mean, that play was so quick. How do you even have time to call a hold, to have a hold there? Sometimes it happens on the outside and guys get hung up or whatever, but I mean, back-to-back plays, I guess we just said it. You could call it on every play, and maybe this guy's going to.
I know. So now we're looking at 1st and 21. Mind you, we were down inside the 20. Thomas looking to pass. Got to hold that ball. Looking for some room. And he's going to be taken down stopped with forward progress at about the 42, 43.
Talk about just having the officials take the life out of the entire game. The fans, the teams, like.
Well, we don't want to start off on a bad foot, but I will say this, that across the board, and no, I'm not going to apologize for it because it's what we saw. There were some really rough calls last year, and it wasn't just football. There were a lot of sports. And then Jake standing right here. Jake filmed a lot of them. Jake watching them just as a spectator too, and he's a sports fan. We saw some really bad calls a year ago in multiple sports, and I don't know what it is. I mean, I look at this and I see football, and you have more officials, more eyes on the play than in any other sport. Why are there so many bad calls?
Well, my thing with a football, especially a hold, because like you said, you could call it on every play. Where, I mean, and you can't see it from here in real time, but was the kid that got held going to make the play in the backfield?
I know what you're saying.
That's the way
thing.
you got to kind of look at it.
That's the thing. You're right. If it's not a impeding play, if it's 20 yards off the play, that was
Screen.
Screenplay, yeah.
Tried.
Oh, this is not going to turn out very well, I don't think. Oh, wow. Oh, he got tripped up. Man, I thought Rue was going to have some room. That was a big-time play by Matthew Rebello.
So 3rd and 10, I mean, 45 seconds to go. He got out of bounds, so
That's the good thing.
The clock was...
Mind you, again, at least from our vantage point, Hilltoppers probably should have been in the end zone already. But you know, we roll with the punches. We're not out on the field, and we can't see everything, and that's why the officials are there. So
usually the calls go against you when you're away. When you play at Somerset, usually Somerset gets the calls. Usually, if you play at home, you like to think you're going to get a call.
And just to clarify, we're using this as an example because we're playing Somerset. The same thing is true if we went to Dartmouth or we went to.
But we always get the short end of this stick.
Usually the home team gets, you know, usually the home team will get the benefit.
The ref wants another second. Great, thanks.
Well, actually, it had stopped at 45, so we actually gained a second. We're at 46.
He can keep the second. Just keep the flag in his pocket.
Tons of time for Thomas.
Another
flag rolling in. That's the first down and more, but it's probably coming back. Another flag in the end zone. So he did make it there, but pretty certain that play will be coming back at least with one of the 2 yellow flags.
I don't know what the one downfield was for.
I
mean, I'm assuming the one in the backfield is a hold because, of course, it's a hold. You see this happen in basketball at times, too, where the referees just, you know, the game gets away from them. And it's like, at this point, it's almost, I don't know.
Oh, boy. So another costly flag from the line. I think, was it a face mask? Is that what he called it?
No, it's another hold.
It was a hold.
Yep.
And evidently it happened right at the line of scrimmage.
Yeah.
Oh, goodness.
Isaiah did a nice job there.
He did a great job.
You know, stepped up in the pocket, bought some time, found the, you know, it's tough to play defense for that long. That was a great catch. All right, we got one. We got 5 yards back. Brian Cruz on that reception. It didn't count. But.
I know. And you know, too, big time credit to the line, which has given Thomas a lot of time in this first half. Whenever he has dropped back, the line has been there and held Somerset.
First-year offensive line coach Nathan Levesque. Credit to the Rhinoceros. Coach Rhino, he was the coach when I was here.
Thomas.
Uh-oh.
He's got
another one.
Another flag.
This guy is unbelievable.
And Thomas is dragged down behind the line of scrimmage to bring up, well, we're thinking 4th down, but we're just not sure.
That's the 4th or 5th holding call just on this drive, right?
Yep.
It's amazing.
I'd like to know if it's the same player because it's like they're looking for it.
Or they're just making it up. Maybe it's the new rules. Federation rules. I don't know. I've never seen anything like it.
No, and you know, at this rate, it makes me wonder if we're playing a contact sport or if we're playing basketball.
Just let it run out. Go to the half. The clock's running. Who cares at this point?
Yeah, this is like
regroup.
2 times that Durfee should have been in the end zone on this drive, and football taken right out of their hands. Really sad to see over these last 3 minutes. We'll go into the half. Oh no, calling timeout.
Who called the timeout?
Hilltoppers called timeout with 1 second remaining in the half.
Maybe just try to score. Try to throw it up.
Yeah. Oh, obviously that's got to be the only thought.
Just maybe see if you can break one, if you got some type of trick play or reverse or a double pass or something. I don't know. Still got a long way to go, but
I mean, yeah, right, and it's like, it's only 8-8. We make it think like we're trying to crawl back from 21 down here. But my gosh, how many penalties?
Ugh, awful. It makes you sick. This scares me because you just can't let them, interception, fumble, something stupid where the ball bounces, because that just seems the way it's going. But I mean, I like that they're gonna go for it. I don't think Isaiah can throw it 60 yards in the air, so it's probably going to have to be.
I'd love to see if they can target Rue, get him down a little bit because he's so big. I don't think they'd be able to tackle him. But you got to get the pass off as well. That's the other. You got to hope that the line can hold. They're playing with trips here on the near side. They're going to send everybody down this near sideline. And that's it.
That's all right.
Yeah, nothing you could do. But I'll tell you one thing. Saw a hold on this side. One of the Blue Raiders holding our receiver back, but there wasn't a yellow flag in sight, B.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know.
Yeah.
I've never seen anything like it. It's I don't get it. Take the game right away from the kids by throwing the flag that many times. I mean, just let the kids play and keep the flags in your pocket. It's unbelievable.
All right. Well, first half in the books. Good news is we've seen a score from both sides. We've seen some good defense from both sides. It's 8-8, so might as well be 0-0. It's a new ball game.
Yeah, and I think at halftime, you go in and forget about the refs. We got to play the game.
Right.
That's got to be the attitude. It's very difficult to do when you're playing and coaching, to try to say forget about it when they've taken 2 scores off the board. Legitimate or illegitimate, they didn't count the scores. So we're at 8-8, and at halftime, you've got to just regroup and play the game and control the things that you can control. And you can't control whether or not the guy throws the flag on every play.
Spoken like a true former player and former coach. All right, folks, we're going to step aside. We'll be back during halftime for, we're hoping the band is going to play, and it looks like they are. They're coming on. So Hilltopper Marching Band will be coming up next on Fred TV. Stick around. Hello again, everybody. I'm Evan Massoud. Welcome to the Fred TV Sports Report, our final broadcast of the summer. We've got a stacked show for you, and we're going to begin right here at Chew Park with the Fribble Championship. It began 2 weeks ago, and it delivered complete and great action throughout. Let's take a look at how we got to this point as we bring up the graphics. The Brewers made quick work of the Marlins, sweeping them in 2 games, and the Braves got their revenge on the Rockies, also pulling off a semifinal round sweep, which brings us to the finals, where the Brewers have a 2-1 lead in the series. The games have been very close, too. Game 1 went to the Brewers 12-9, Game 2 to the Braves 7-5, and Game 3 to the Brewers 4-1, who are hoping to clinch the title in Game 4. This is their 3rd straight appearance in the finals, and they're hoping to make it back-to-back wins. Got out to the early lead, too. Top of the 4th. 2 out, 1 run in, and a runner at third. Chris Smith with the base knock to center brings home Connor Smith to make it 2-0. It would stay that way all the way to the 7th inning. Let's go there. Braves looking to tie it up. After an RBI ground out earlier in the inning, Alex Kanevi with the 2-out hit. The blooper. It falls in the Bermuda Triangle. Dave Bushnell scores from second, and it's a 2-2 game. To the bottom of the 8th we go, same score. Josh Blaze at the dish with 2 down and 2 in scoring position, and he delivers the go-ahead. Well-placed hit to left center. Bradford Hartwell and Ryan Pimentel both come home. It's 4-2 Braves. They took a 5-2 lead into the 9th. Things got a bit dicey there as the Brewers did grab a run in the final frame, but Ryan Pimentel closes the door. The Braves stave off elimination and force Game 5 with a 5-3 Game 4 victory. This was a great game. It was a close game, kind of a nail-biter throughout because both teams weren't doing much offensively until that 7th inning. The Braves, though, able to push it to 5 games. Game 5 would be a Sunday matinee right here at Chew. We'll have those highlights a little later in the program, so stay with us. All right, always like a fun Did You Know? Because I did not know this until recently. Did you know that South Watuppa Pond is the only Olympic-sanctioned pond in the entire Northeast? Go figure, right? Well, that means that if the Boston 2024 Olympics had happened, we would have seen Olympic rowing competitions happening right here in Fall River's backyard. Pretty cool. Well, we all know that unfortunately that didn't happen, but I did get a taste of what it might have been like thanks to the Bay Coast Rowing Center down on Jefferson Street. Take a look. On a peaceful summer morning, the sound of oars clapping on South Watuppa Pond could be heard as the Bay Coast Rowing Center wrapped up the last week of its Learn to Row camp. This particular program was geared for high school athletes. Co-head coach Julia Medeiros told me that Fall River should feel very fortunate to have rowing available right in its backyard, because unlike football, baseball, and basketball, it's not a sport that's offered in many communities.
I never really saw any schools that had rowing, so I thought it was super unique, and I was never really into many other sports. So when I finally found rowing, it was finally my niche and the sport that I love the most.
Much like Julia, Monica Smith had started with another sport prior to finding rowing. Now going into her sophomore year of high school, Monica has become an assistant coach at the center, continuing to learn new skills while teaching others what she has already mastered.
It's different from any other sport that I've done. I used to be a swimmer, and I just like how it's very mindful but kind of relaxing at the same time. And it uses a lot of different body parts that most sports wouldn't use.
Monica said that she has recently taken the role of coxswain, which is the person that faces the rowers and steers the boat. The coxswain also keeps an eye on the rower's stroke to ensure that synchronization is preserved throughout the race. Staying focused is essential.
Rowing is a lot more mental than some other sports. You really have to work on working together, being in sync with your teammates, and endurance-wise, you're going until you cross the finish line, so there's no switching in and out. So we've really been trying as many drills and fun activities as we can.
Okay, remember, relax. This isn't a race. Slow and steady.
Julia's co-head coach, Alexa Beyonson, is currently rowing for Fordham University in New York. She was passionate about this sport right from the start, often training before the sun rose.
Rowing is a very heavy endurance sport. You have to spend a lot of time working your aerobic capacity, so it's doing like long, low, and steady aerobic work, either on the erg machine, running, whatsoever. I know I spent the majority of my mornings in high school at 5 a.m. waking up and doing steady state on the rowing machine over there.
The Bay Coast Rowing Center was awarded a community impact grant from our friends at the United Way of Greater Fall River. Executive Director Kim Smith says this is a great example of a nonprofit helping a nonprofit, all for the greater good of the city.
Not only does it keep kids engaged in movement and rowing and doing something physical, but it also avails them the opportunity to learn to row and then potentially continue rowing, which also would lead to possible college scholarships.
I know what rowing has done in my life, and I want to help kids, especially in Fall River, realize the benefits that rowing could have in their lives, and that rowing is a possibility for them to make their dreams come true if they want to go to college. So if they stick with it, put in hard work, great things can come from rowing.
And it's Alexa's hope that all of the athletes who attended the camps comes to love rowing as much as she does. Now, if you want to find out more about future programs, visit the website right at the bottom of your screen, baycoastrowingcenter.org. Thanks to everybody who helped out with the pack. The girls were great to talk with. It's a really cool program, highly recommended. All right, Game 5, sudden death, winner takes all from right here at Chew Park. The Braves have been in the playoffs every season that we've covered the league on Fred TV and our sister station, FRG TV. And they've been in the finals. This is their 4th time in the finals. Is this year the year? Let's find out. Roll the tape. One thing's for certain, for a late August Sunday afternoon, it felt more like September with a 60s temperature and a breeze. I'm not ready for the jacket weather, that's for sure. All right, Braves took a 3-0 lead in the top of the first thanks to a rocky start from Carney Boff. He settled down nicely, though, until running into further trouble in the 4th. We'll pick it up there. 2 outs, runner at second. Dave Bushnell hooks it to left. That falls in fair. Josh Blaze comes around to score, and the Braves with a 4-0 lead early. We'll move ahead top 7 now. 1 run in, first and third, and more. 2 out, Magic. Josh Blaze gets into one. Chew Park holds it, but it's deep to center, and it'll bring home a pair. Luke Bomback and Jonathan McCarthy score. The Braves with a 6-run lead. It's 7-1. Bottom half of the inning, Brewers rallying, trying to stay in it. A run already in. 2 in scoring position with 2 out. Chris Smith sends it up the middle. Greg Nugent from third. Connor Smith from second. A 2-run single cuts it back to 3. It's 7-4. Bottom of the 8th now. Franco Duray leading off the inning for the Brewers. A drive to deep left, and it carries out. Just over the 295 marker in left for the solo jack. 7-5 the score. Brew Crew not going away. Later in the inning, Carney Buff at the plate, 1 out, man at second. Drives it deep to right. Josh Blaze and Luke Bomback almost collide. It gets down. J.K. Silva comes in from second. Buff stands at third, representing the tying run. After a pitching change, a couple batters later, Connor Smith comes up now with 2 down. He slices it to left, and that's going to tie up the ball game as the Brewers score 6 unanswered runs in an inning and a third in Game 5 to pull even at 7-7. To the bottom of the 9th we go, still tied. J.K. Silva at the plate. Chris Smith, the winning run at second, and Silva delivers. A drive deep to right field, bounces once, goes over the fence, a ground rule double, and the Brewers walk off with the win and the championship in Game 5. It's their second championship in a row. What an exciting comeback. I caught up with the winner at the end of the game, and come to find out, J.K. Silva is actually one of our own here at FRPS, a phys ed teacher at Cuss Middle School. I asked him about the feel in the dugout when the deficit was 7-1. Here's J.K.
We were not feeling good. Morale was getting down, but it only takes, the craziest thing about sports and baseball is it only takes one thing to turn momentum. Once momentum got turning, I had it in my head. I knew we were coming back. I knew we were winning this game. I just wanted to give a shout out, Cuss Middle School, all my students. Keep working. We'll see you at school this week. Let's go.
So that wraps up another exciting year of Fribble baseball here in Fall River. A big thanks to the league for another fantastic summer of baseball action. All right, last but certainly not least, some news from the high school level. We've had some changes made over the last couple of months while we've been away, and want to let you know what's going on. Over at Bishop Conley, Cesar Gonçalves has been reappointed as the athletic director. Cesar served for 3 years from fall 2013 to the spring of 2016. And he was always so helpful to us at Fred TV, so we wish him the best of luck as Bishop Conley and Coylan Cassidy join forces. So Cesar's going to be running both athletic departments. Now, over at Diamond, Michael O'Brien, who was the assistant AD over at Coyle, has taken over the athletic position at Diamond Regional after Keith Allen recently stepped down. Michael had a tremendous career over at Coylan Cassidy, where he coached the girls basketball program for 16 years, had 269 wins over those 16 years, very impressive, and a state championship in 2018. Now moving on here to lead the Bengals, Michael says the transition has gone very smoothly.
Coming from a different place, I'm learning. My first plan is to just observe and learn from these guys and learn their system. I'm joining their team. They're not joining me. I don't think any major changes are needed. They run a nice athletic program here. Keith Allen did a great job, and I'm happy to be here. And I've enjoyed my week and a half so far. It's been great.
Also at Diamond, head football coach Steve Wojnarski elected not to return this year. So Freddie Lima, longtime assistant coach at Bishop Stang, has been hired to lead the Bengals football team this fall. Also in Greater Fall River news, former Hilltopper Jeff Caron has been the AD over at Dartmouth High School. He's left that post to take an assistant principal position over at New Bedford Voc. Andrew Crisafulli, who was the AD at Case, is heading over to Dartmouth now to take over the Indians program. All right, last but not least, this is some big news. You won't hear me saying the phrase Big Three play anymore in our broadcasts starting in September. And that's because the Big Three and the Old Colony League are no longer. They have merged. And this happens because Barnstable left the OC to become one of the Cape Cod teams, staying on the islands. So that means Brockton, Durfee, New Bedford, Dartmouth, and BR will be the Southeast Conference, comprised of 5 teams. Should be a lot of fun. We'll dive deeper into that on our first broadcast of the fall, and we'll see how it's going to affect Durfee as well. Thank you so much for tuning in on Fridays throughout the summer for the Fred TV Sports Report. I'll be seeing you soon. I want to wish all of my colleagues in the district a great school year. We had a successful opening this week, and we wish everybody the best as we head into September. I'll be seeing you soon on Fred TV. Until the next time, I'm Evan Massard coming to you from Chew Park. Thanks for watching.
What's up, Daniel Vlog? Say what's up to Daniel's Vlog. Give me a Daniel's Vlog. Right! What's up, Daniel's Vlog? Daniel, should I go to the Somerset side of this? I said, should I go to the Somerset side of this and cheer for Durfee? Yeah? Yes, yes. Daniel, let's go. Somerset side. Cheer for Durfee. Oh, you can say that. Why are we? Oh, wait, get me skinny. Actually, I don't want to lose.
East Flag football team, ages 5 to 7, head coach Dave Paiva, assistant coaches Stephanie Macedo, Jamie Dion, and Damian Edwards. The 8U football team, head coach Angel Concepcion, followed by assistant coaches Kenneth Plumkus, Timothy Cabral, Michael Payne, Eric Garfield, and Matthew Perez. The 9U football team, followed by head coach Boomer Emerald, assistant coaches Mark Harrington, Roberti Libby, Ian Perry, Jonathan Sanchez, and Chad Furtado. The 10U football team, head coach Neil Stewart. He's followed by assistant coaches Chris Thompson, Thomas, Kazim Admery, Omi Montanez, Pete Masafumi, Louis Pina, and Sean Rogers. The 11U football team head coach, Mike Barabee, and he is followed by assistant coaches, Greg Massey, Sean Lambert, Carmine Cristino, Jeannie Brown, and Kevin Whalen. The 12U football team head coach, Fred Alf, assistant coaches, David Samoe, Bobby Alf, and Tyrone Young. The 13U football team head coach, Ron Kelly, assistant coaches, Caesar Butler, George Metz, and James Clinton. Now for the Falcons cheerleaders, cheer commissioner Jacqueline Buell. The 8U cheer head coach Taylor Sardina, followed by assistant coaches Melissa Floriano and Samantha Perez. The 10U cheer head coach Alyssa Daly and assistant coaches Gina DuPont. The 12U cheer head coach Kaylin Aruda, followed by assistant coaches Linda Nim and Tiffany Posey. The 18U cheer head coach, Felicia Moody, followed by assistant coaches Shannon Perry and Tiffany Posey. And the Inspiration Team Sparkle head coach, Shannon Perry. Ladies and gentlemen, please give the Florida Falcons football and cheer organization a huge round of applause. Ladies and gentlemen, tomorrow night at the Matt Aldridge Field at BMC Durfee High School, the Troy City Titans take on the Brockton Bucks.
All right, folks. Evan Massoud and BJ McDonald back with you here at Matt Aldridge Field. You just saw halftime. The band got to play and do their performance. You just saw the Fall River Falcons Youth Football League be introduced here on the field. Our PA announcer, former football player, former Fred TV student, Desmond Sanders, working the PA tonight. And now we're about ready for the third quarter. 8-8 score as we head into the second half. And, you know, we kind of finished the first half on a bit of a sour note with some questionable calls, to say the least. But we'll turn the page now. It's a whole new game, 2 quarters to play, and a tied score.
That's it. We said it before the half. I mean, I think the approach you're going to take, you control the things you can control, and you can't control if the referee's going to throw the flag every time. But hopefully the referees gathered themselves at halftime as well and thought about what they were doing out there. And just like the teams did, everybody got to regroup, take a deep breath, and play the second half.
Hilltoppers won the toss in the beginning of the game, or pre-game, I should say, and they took the ball, so they will kick off to the Blue Raiders here to begin the third. Again, 12-minute quarters, one of the new changes here, one of the new rule changes under the new federation rules that we're following, no more NCAA. So 12-minute quarters, because who doesn't want an extra 4 minutes of game time?
And I think it ends up coming out in the wash. We mentioned the timeouts.
Right,
You get half as many timeouts as you used to get, so.
That's right, half the number of timeouts. And you know what, too? I've been watching the clock, and I think the clock stays rolling more. Like it's less stopping of the clock. So I think overall, you're right. It's just a wash. You see 12, though.
Is there a play clock?
No.
No.
No. Or I should say, if there is, it's not functioning.
Okay.
And I don't ever remember it really working.
Yeah, I always remember it being there,
but it never always.
And it was like, oh, it doesn't work.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
But I don't see it now, and I know that they had to move the scoreboard with the construction. So I guess the play clock must be. It's probably in a closet somewhere.
I actually. It's with the bells.
Yeah.
No, the bell tower's back up as well. They're working
Which
on
looks
it. It's
great,
standing.
by the way. I like that spot. I think it's a great spot for
I
it.
like it too. And you know what? When we put in another new field, because we're looking here, we're looking east. So just to the south of this field here is going to be where Trade Winds is. When the old building's finally knocked down, we're talking a couple years down the road, but when it's finally leveled, there's going to be another soccer field with softball in the corner, kind of like at Cuss, where we were last spring for the home games. That's going to be down there. So now you have the nice big bell tower right in the middle of all the wide open space. I really like it. And I think it looks good. It even looks good where it is now. So it's just not as visible at the moment. But once everything's gone, it's going to be a visible thing. And don't forget, the new building's going to have its own clock tower, a la the old Durfee on Rock Street.
Right, and there'll be multiple ways to get into the stadium.
Yep.
So, people are going to utilize that entrance. And you can see it from the field. We don't have a great view of it from inside the box, but it's there. It looks nice. I'm glad they got it back up.
Mm-hmm. And you mentioned, ways to get in here. Obviously, right now, fans, those of you who are watching this on our channel or watching it on demand, if you came to any game this week, or you're going to be coming to any games later this year and over the next couple of years, obviously, parking is going to be at a premium. And things will change as things evolve here with the construction process. Right now, game day parking, for football at least, is the auditorium parking lot off of Ray Street, the top of Ray Street near the water tank. So
you might be better off bringing your bicycle.
Right. Bring your bicycle or carpool.
Yeah.
Because
it's a little bit of a walk to get to
is.
the stadium, for sure.
You're going to have to walk down the road underneath the ramp for the auditorium between the buildings and come out on the Wiedemo Street side. There is no parking, and I'm telling you that it's going to be strictly enforced. There's signs on every single telephone pole. They do not want parallel parking on Wiedemo Street.
They ticketed every car a couple weeks ago at the Titans game, I heard.
Yeah.
I don't know if there's any truth to that. I probably shouldn't be saying it on television, but I think that
I heard that too. I will say that was unconfirmed, but I heard it from a couple of acquaintances of mine, a couple of friends of mine. I did hear that. And they're going to be strict about it because the problem is any game day traffic coming from down here, because there's a second auxiliary parking lot over here as well. Ball! Loose ball. And I think
went out of bounds.
I think it did go out of bounds.
But I think he's short. It's going to be 4th and short.
Oh, he's short. That's for sure.
They were going after the ball there, and he almost broke it.
He almost did. Yeah, he's short by quite a bit, a couple yards, 2 yards. But just to conclude, parking is, we're asking, the athletic department is asking that, everybody just be patient. In the end, this is all for a good thing.
Right.
So, and same with, basketball. Basketball is not going to be fun for parking either. You're only going to have that main entrance lot that has been expanded, but it's not the Fieldhouse lot. It's just going to be the way it is. So it's a matter of working together and trying to all be patient. A first down for the Blue Raiders. They do move the ball.
How about this guy driving them down the field?
Seriously.
That's a good run by Somerset.
It was.
A good 4th down conversion, but I don't know. Number 7 there for Somerset downfield.
Solazaro.
Fernando and Jason Hall from Durfee wrestling, 10 yards down the field.
Solazano was the one there from Somerset.
Well, regroup. First down. Let's get a stop. They're inside Durfee's territory here at the 48-yard line.
As expected, nothing new here in the second half from Somerset. Just more of the same. The ground game. Big stop there from the defensive line, as the QB Shaker was not going far.
That seems like maybe something they might have talked about at halftime when the play's all bottled up, trying to punch that ball out of there, get a turnover. The Hilltoppers are a lot of helmets to the football and in attacking the football, looking for a fumble.
Stopped right at the line of scrimmage. The forward progress counts, so the fact that Shaker was dragged back about 4 or 5 yards, that does not hurt you, because he played till the whistle. Wasn't like a sack.
All right.
So forward progress got him to the line. So 2nd and 10. Tossing it to Romero.
Go.
small gain on the play, so it's going to bring up 3rd and long, probably about 3rd and 7. And that's right where you want to be if you're Durfee. You know, anytime you're over the 5 yards, you know, that 3rd and long could really make or break you. Sometimes we've seen some real big plays. Sometimes we've seen some real big losses. The 3rd and long is always an interesting play. It's actually.
But Somerset, typically I would agree with you,
Yeah.
but I think Somerset's pretty comfortable in 3rd and 6 or 3rd and 7, because if they get 3 here, it's 4th and 3, and they're pretty comfortable there too.
They're a 4-down team.
It's a 4 downs with them, so you. And here comes. Oh, I thought they were going to go with double handoff.
I thought they were too.
A
Looks
little
like
counter action.
I think Shaker kept it again, and he scurried to the outside for about 3 yards.
I think that was Romero, actually, of number 5, coming back.
It was Romero. Yep.
They motioned this way towards us, and a little counter action back the other way. But good job by Durfee. The Durfee defense staying home, making the play.
That picked up about 3, and it's going to be a long 3 to go. 4th and. Actually, it really looks like 4th and 4.
Yeah, it's
so we'll say 4th and 4. So another big opportunity for the defense here. Somerset just converted on the last set of downs on 4th down, but it was 4th and 1. 4th and 1.5. Here on 4th and 4. Can you believe it?
Nice.
Wow, tackled at the knees, and Shaker taken down for the sack. He was faking to throw. I think he really did want to cut. I really don't think he was probably going to throw.
Yeah, but that's a great play by Jay Hall there, coming in from the backside, chasing him down. Great play, big play, 4th down, inside or right at midfield, maybe just inside of midfield, right at the 50-yard line. I mean, that's the start Durfee was looking for coming out of the half, getting the ball back. It's a tie game. You know, you were, like you said, at the end of the half there, things got off the rails a little bit. But regroup at halftime, play a little defense, and now you get the ball and you're in control.
So about 4 minutes and 20 seconds gone here in this 3rd quarter. Hilltoppers got the stop on defense. And they'll take over, as you said, be right at midfield. Is that Rue? I think that's Rue.
No, that's Jay again.
Or was that? That was Hall. Yeah, you're right.
That's it, right at him. That's how they scored earlier in the game, right, running between the tackles with Jay Hall and Rue there, and then they used Holly a little bit on the outside. So they've been coming at him all different ways. Isaiah's completed a few passes. The offense has looked pretty good through 2.5 quarters.
Yeah, and you know what? Hall is another one of those. You know, he's like Rue, 6'1", 190. Hey, that's a train coming through there. And then, like you said, you know, you counter with Holly, who's, you know, 5'8" and $150. It's a totally different animal, because Holly's like the sprinter. And then you got the, you know, the beast in Hall and Rue.
There
goes
again.
Hall. Nice spin move down across the 35 and a 1st down.
And we can't forget about the offensive linemen up front, because they've been doing a great job all night. That's the reason why Hall and these guys have had some success running the football. I mean, there was a huge hole there. Jay made a nice spin move, picked up the 1st down, but keep it rolling. Looks like they're sticking with it. It's been the same formation, I think, the last 3 or 4 plays.
Yeah,
why not?
I
If
know.
it ain't broke, don't fix it, right?
Why not just go with it? Because they're having a hard time tackling him. He runs into a wall. But see, again, that's where the size helps you. I think Hall might have just gotten another 5 yards, and it looked like he wasn't going to go anywhere.
I was listening to an interview with Jim Harbaugh the other day, and he said he ran the same play 13 times in a row in one game. And the guy asked him, why did you stop running it? And he said, because we scored.
That's
so why not? I think
I
Durfee
know.
just ran the same play or very similar plays 3-4 times in a row. They've got 4 or 5 yards a pop, so why not keep running it? And they're in the same formation again.
So 5 yards on 1st down, 2nd and 5.
Same thing.
Same thing, and they're pushing from behind as well. That looks like it should be another 1st down. It's going to be awfully close. I think the marker's at the, what is that, the 24. And that's going to be right there. I think they're going to move the chains.
I think they're just
Oh,
short.
they're just
3rd and 1, yeah. It's all right. They get 2 shots out of here.
Right. And after the yardage, I mean, we're seeing an average of 4.5 yards here on this drive picked up by Hall on each carry. So,
and now that Keyshawn just checked in, so you got Keyshawn and is it Niger in the backfield?
Yeah, 1 yard
Can't
should
get
be
1
nothing.
yard here.
There it is.
Oh, keep going. Get upfield.
Well, he got up enough to reset the downs at least, and the Hilltoppers knocking on the door to the red zone once again.
Got to punch it in here.
In the third quarter, moving along pretty quickly here. Already 7 minutes gone, all on the ground here for both sides. Both sides have possessed it once. This is Durfee's first possession of the third quarter. So 1st and 10, looking at about the 23, 22-yard line. Hall can't escape that tackle. I think he might have just gotten back to the line of scrimmage, but that's about it. They're going to give him a loss of 1, in fact, so 2nd and 11. Somerset was ready for that, so Brian Cruz, number 8, wide receiver.
He's checking in. It looks like
checking in.
Number 11, Mick Coronel, coming out.
Yeah, he's the tight end. Coach Powers, one of the assistant coaches, he was telling me before the game, he says, we don't do a lot of plays with the tight end, but he is our tight end, so when we're going to use him.
It makes sense. So tight end's out. Now they get an extra receiver split out there, and that's Cruz up top. Or actually down here.
And looking to throw is Thomas. Oh, he's going to get hit on the blind side, and I think maybe the ball might have come out too. Yep, it did. Thomas got completely leveled right there. He never saw the defender who cut around one of the Hilltopper linesmen, and another drive cut short. This one via the turnover, the first turnover of the game.
Tough break there. Isaiah he's had some success stepping up in the pocket. He made some nice throws in the first half, but
he never saw the
didn't
defender.
See that one there.
No, never saw him.
That's all right, though. Get a stop.
First play from Somerset. About 4 or 5 yards. Actually 7. Wow, a little more than I thought. So 2nd and about 3rd and 4, or 2nd and 3rd or 4, kind of in between again. Good first down run for the Blue Raiders.
Same play the other way.
Going with Corey Riendo. And it'll be a first down for the Blue Raiders.
Super power right, super power left, double handoff. I mean, that's it. It's 4 or 5 plays. That's all they're running at you. But now it's like a no huddle. They've got Durfee.
Yep. Not even set. And a timeout. I saw Coach Freitas on the other side going like this, doing kind of the windmill with his arm, like, let's go.
Yeah, they were looking. They were trying to
push
it. Durfee's got a few linemen going both ways.
Yeah.
Robitaille there in the middle. Elijah's the other kid, 58 there. He's been playing a lot on both sides of the ball. Javen.
Yeah, Babola. He's 6'4", 345. He's listed at. He's a big boy. And
yeah, so you get those guys on both sides of the ball. You start, Somerset's got a little bit smaller, maybe quicker linemen, where Durfee's got the bigger guys. Get into the no-huddle situation. You just hope that, we've mentioned the new rules. Hopefully the timeout doesn't come back to bite you in a close game, right? I think that's probably a little bit of a thing to keep in mind as a coaching staff, too. Like, it used to be, we're never going to run out of timeouts. You get a million of them, but now you only get 3, so it's a little bit more strategy, I would think, comes into play when, hey, we can't really burn them. You guys got to get out there and get set.
Yeah, and it was one of those, you're going no huddle and you're trying to make a substitution. Normally you don't do the substitutions on no huddle. That's what the benefit of it is for an offense, is you're keeping the defense out there play after play. You can't get them off the field.
I think they got a hold on White.
Say it ain't so.
I'd be shocked.
There is a flag, and I think you're right.
And I think it's the same guy. He's going to break a record. Chop block.
Wow.
or a high-low.
Yeah.
In this offense, they do run a lot of cut blocks. That's kind of the strategy behind it. But you get into a high-low situation when one lineman hits the guy up high and the other kid comes in and wipes out the guy below the waist, because I think that a cut block is still legal. I don't know if that changed with the rules. It used to always be legal that as long as you were head up with the guy, you could block him. You could cut block him. Right. And I think that's still the case.
It's a personal foul, too. It's 15 yards.
I think they called a high-low there where one guy was engaged up high and the other kid wiped him out down low.
A big break for the Hilltop. That's a big penalty. Oh, a push off.
There we
Hilltopper's
go.
going to
Nice job.
He's going to pin him way
Nice
back
job.
into the 10-yard line. A huge stop for the Hilltoppers, taking them back another 15.
Great job on defense. I thought the kid was going to turn the corner there, 32.
Really?
Rodriguez looked like he might be able to turn the corner, but great job by the Durfee defense, bottling him up, getting a bunch of helmets to the football, and now you've got 2nd and a mile.
I know, I'm trying to do quick math, and I can't even see the hash marks. We're looking at, I think, 36. I want to say 2nd and 36.
Yeah, you're on about the 10. You got to get to about the 50.
Holy cow. 2nd and 36 by
There's
my
a double
estimation.
handoff. Okay, good.
Well, he's still on his feet and pushing forward. That's a big chunk of yards to get back.
Yeah, well, that was a lot after the first contact.
Yeah.
He kind of dragged that pile for another 6 or 7 yards after the initial contact. It looked like they had him almost no gain. And
so now we're looking at 3rd down and about 25.
taking a lineman out. Oh, no, that's Montero. Right, Niger.
Yeah, he's got a bit of a limp. I mean, that was quite a pile. Everybody pushing, and that's where you can roll an ankle or twist a knee a little bit, you know.
3rd and long, you got draws and screens, right? You got to look out for.
You don't want any.
Or just the dive.
Or the dive, and you just don't want any silly penalties that'll push Somerset further down. You know, if you're the Hilltoppers, you want to keep them back. It's going to bring up 4th and about 20, maybe a little less. Now 4th and 20.
So the turnover doesn't hurt the Hilltoppers. They're going to get the ball back. There's under a minute to go in the 3rd quarter. And I think that's some of the things last year when those sudden change momentum plays, the turnover then turned into a touchdown the other way. So that's a, you know. Oh, look at this. Go get him. Go get him.
Oh, they still
wow,
got
that
that's incredible.
By,
that is absolutely insane that ball,
Shaker.
Didn't get really. Shaker, what a job. You want to talk about regrouping? Oh, my gosh.
I almost think.
And Romero's limping as well, number 5. He's hurting big time. I don't know if he got stepped on or something, but he's hurting.
I almost think Durfee was trying to set up a return there because they didn't really rush.
Yeah.
They had guys dropping off, probably trying to catch the punt and get a decent return off of it. And unfortunately, the kid got it off. That was a great play by Shaker, though, to get that ball
That's
off.
incredible.
I mean, that's about a 50-yard swing. Rather than the ball being on the 10 going in, you know, Durfee gets it on their own 35-yard line. That's a big play.
With 2 guys storming in on you, too.
In a tie game.
Yeah, that's big time. Keyshawn Rue trying to break through, and he cannot.
No way to go there.
No, he's getting pushed back. First down run does not pan out for the Hilltoppers.
I don't know if that was by design or not, but I think Ruse had a lot more success running between the tackles than getting outside.
Well, that's the conclusion of the 3rd quarter here. We've played 36 minutes of football, and we're right where we started here, tied up. It's 8-8 after 3. The Hilltoppers have the ball here after really good defensive drive there, I guess you could say.
Yeah,
defensive
big stand. Great stand. Great job. Helped out by the high-low penalty, but we'll take it.
Oh,
I mean, we had a few drives killed in the first half by penalties, so whenever we get one back, it'll even it off a little bit. And I know there's a lot of game to play, but is there overtime? Do you know? If it gets there?
Yeah.
It's usually something that the coaches agreed upon. It used to be, I think they would just agree before the game. The coaches would have a conversation with the officials and say, hey, we're going to play overtime or we're not going to play overtime. but I don't know if that part of that rule change, and I wasn't trying to put you on the spot.
No, that's okay. I'm going to be honest with you. What I recall from before any rule changes,
the same rules would apply.
Yeah, and that I've never seen, at least to my recollection, I've never seen a tie in the regular season. They still will play.
We had one. That's why when my. Okay, so yeah, I think when you're head on, you can.
Yeah. Fourth quarter going to start here. 2nd and 12 for the Hilltoppers.
Jake's like Mike Pereira on Fox.
Right. Jake Fitzgerald here helping us out big time as kind of the producer and the official rules guy here. He's got the phone out and checking everything out. Somerset getting the stops like the Hilltoppers just did. Both defenses really kind of buttoning things up here in the second half. And that was not a very good run for the Hilltoppers. Twice trying to pitch it outside and going nowhere. It's time to head back up the middle, right down Main Street.
Yeah, you get third and a long way to go here, but
yeah.
That's all right. You get the wide side of the field this way to the right side. Isaiah's right-handed. I'd roll him out this way and maybe some type of flood in it. See if you can slip a tackle.
Let's see if the line can, Somerset calling a timeout. See if the line can hold off enough so that Thomas can get it out there. Well, the Hilltoppers have another home game coming up this week, Friday the 13th. Hope that's not a bad omen. But
who's that? Is it Taunton coming to town?
Taunton's coming to town. Yep. So I will not be here. It'll be a rare miss for me. We are working on cover. Either way, it will be filmed, but we're working on coverage for that one. I have, lucky enough, you know me with classic rock. I have tickets to see The Who at Fenway Park next Friday.
That's awesome.
And I am really looking forward to it because, you know, with The Who, every time could be their last time.
That's it. Have you seen them live before?
I've seen them 3 times. And, oh, my gosh, I mean, really, they still got it. And they're doing this tour with a 50-piece orchestra. So they're doing, like, a lot of classic Tommy, a lot of Quadrophenia, a lot of the rock operas, which is really just unique. They haven't done anything like this before. So, yeah, Pete Townsend and Roger Daltrey. Oh, he almost had him. And he's going down. He had him.
Holly was open, but it looked like the defensive end there. Usually you have the backs come in and try to cut that guy down.
Right.
Especially it's tough when the defensive ends are tall. Isaiah's not that tall.
Yeah. So you're going to hope for a good punt here from Jason Hall because on 4th and 20+ here, he's going to be punting from the 10. You hope that he doesn't have a bad snap come his way. He has less room to work with than Shaker did moments ago.
Yeah, it looks like, is it number 5 in there at center? Devon Moole. See the long snapper? I think he is. So you can get a good snap back there. That's a great snap.
That is a good snap.
There we go.
That's a good punt, and it's going to hit
a bounce.
All right. Oh, it died. It was like a chip shot in golf.
It looked like it was going to go for him.
I know.
We'll take that.
That's not a bad punt either way. That's almost a 50-yard punt in the air, so that's not too shabby from Jason Hall. 10:21 to play. Somerset going to take back over and try to break this tie. We've been tied since, say, about halfway through that second quarter, basically. Very little offense for the second consecutive year as these two teams square off in what's become basically an annual tradition. You know, we started with Barnstable for a couple years in a row on opening day. Then we had Conley come in. We called it the Battle on Ellsbury Street 2 years in a row. And then ever since, we've seen Somerset, like I said, I want to say maybe 4 or 5 years. Look at that run.
And it used to be more, I think with all of the division realignments and things, and I think that's why this game works at this point in the season, because I think Somerset is now, they have more league games. So I don't think there's many non-league games, and I know Durfee always struggles to get games because you only get 2 league games, so every sport.
Right, but now, of course, with the change, you must not. No.
Is that effective this year or is going forward?
No more Big 3. We're done.
So it's a Big 5, right?
It's the Southeast. Yep. So BR and Dartmouth will join Brockton and New Bedford and Durfee to form one 5-team league.
But is BR on the schedule this year? They're not on the football schedule.
Yeah, they are.
They are?
I think it's an away game.
Oh, okay. Well, I mean, that makes, you know, that's good. I think
yeah.
having a league is a good thing.
I agree.
You know, the Big Three, you play 4 league, you know, in other sports you play 4 league games. In football you play 2. It's
and
know,
one
it's
and one of
lousy.
them's on Thanksgiving when the playoffs are effectively done.
Right, right. And I'm not a fan of. There you go. Looked like a little confusion there from Somerset.
Yeah.
I am not a big fan of changing the Thanksgiving Day game. You got to keep
No,
it as is.
you have to keep that.
So.
But I have to tell you, and I've said it before, and I am just not a big fan of, or had not been a big fan of the Big Three, because it really, after you've seen other teams in the area playing, you know, 5 or 6 other conference opponents, it's just like, it just doesn't work. Football, boys varsity football. No, I'm sorry. BR is not on the original schedule. We have Dartmouth, though, so that's going to count. But now, see, that's interesting to me because if it's a conference thing, then
I think
we should have to play BR.
But I think this schedule might have already been all locked in by the time all those votes and, you know, the red tape was.
Because we're playing Barnstable. We have Barnstable's on the schedule. They're the last regular season home game.
So the league is
I'm sorry,
Durfee.
regular season game.
So the league is Durfee, New Bedford, Brockton, Dartmouth, BR, and Barnstable?
No, so that's actually, Barnstable is really kind of the school that got this kind of started. They wanted to get out of the OC, the old colony, which was BR, Dartmouth, and Barnstable, and go down the Cape and stay on the Cape as with basically like a super league.
Right.
And that's not to say that they wouldn't come here to play, which they are, but to have conference games be on the Cape.
Sure. This is a huge play here. I don't mean to cut you off.
It certainly is.
But they are punting.
They're going to punt. It's 4th and 5.
And they're calling. Somerset's going to call a timeout.
Timeout. Yes.
Is that their second one they used?
That's their second timeout.
So that's interesting too. I mean, that they're are they rethinking punting the ball here, and maybe they're going to go for. I thought at first they were going to go for it.
You know, I just kind of assumed they would, but I think, you know, maybe there's a little strategy in the clock here that, you know, almost halfway through the 4th quarter, we're still tied. You don't want to give Durfee the ball at the 40.
Right.
You know, so if you pin them down, now you're looking at an 80-plus yard field.
But if Durfee can put together a drive, they can chew 5-6 minutes off the clock. You've only got one timeout, and the Somerset offense isn't really equipped to score quick.
No, they're not.
The way that they play, it's just naturally they don't want to have to go 90 yards. I mean, nobody wants to go 90 yards in 2 minutes, but they don't seem to have the offense and they are going to go for it here, 4th and a long 5
Well,
or
they
6.
might be looking for that offside as well. Oh, no, they're going to go for it.
Oh, it's a broken play.
Wow.
Look at
and
that.
He's going to go down. Shaker is sacked at the 50, just shy of it.
Oh, no.
And a late flag.
No. Oh, no.
I certainly hope that's not going to go against the Hilltoppers.
No flag. That's it. Both kids
really.
were going at it. You can't. Both kids were probably at fault.
Yeah.
You probably could have called offsetting penalties.
Yeah.
Put them both in timeout for a play and let them get back out there.
Dare I say the Hilltoppers just caught a break for the first time in the game with regards to penalties. And there really haven't actually been many in the second half. It's I hope it doesn't balloon here at the end of the 4th quarter. But Durfee will take over from their own 48-yard line with just over 7.5 minutes to play in the game. Still tied here at 8.
What do we got going on now?
Hilltoppers going to use a timeout. Or no, Somerset?
That's their last timeout, right?
Yeah,
If we know what we're talking about, it's their last timeout.
Yep, that's the 3rd timeout of the half. So based on the rule change and what we've been told, this should be Somerset's last timeout.
And I don't think
and look at Coach is out on the field. I think he almost wanted to talk to the official about why the flag was pulled, because look, he's not happy. This was to blow off some steam.
But he also shouldn't be happy because they came out of a timeout and it didn't look like they knew what they were doing either.
Yeah.
I mean, they've run the ball nice all day, and that one, it kind of looked like they weren't all on the same page.
I'm surprised that they rolled out on that play and didn't just punch it right up the middle like they had been doing. All right, back
This is
to the line.
formation that Durfee's had a lot of success out of tonight. You get the tight end on the right, fullback to the right. It's like an old school I, but you're in shotgun.
Yep.
And they've been running it right at him, and I think that's what we're going to see right here.
Gonna hold the ball. That's the key. Tough handoff. It was a high snap. There's a flag down.
Boy.
And
I
that
hope you
one's-
didn't jinx us with the flags. Though.
Yeah, probably did. You've been wrong all night, and now I'm the jinx.
High snap. I mean, this is where you got to dig in a little bit mentally, too, because the first game of the year,
yeah,
guys are playing both ways. It's kind of starting to draw out a little bit. You know, we're going on 2 hours being here.
Right.
So
and you got
it's
the
a
hold.
long day. You got, another hold.
Well, the good news is we moved this game. This was a 6 o'clock. It was supposed to start at 7. They moved it up an hour to 6 o'clock to try to keep us away from the precipitation from the outer bands of Hurricane Dorian. And I think we're going to escape it because aside from that real quick shear of rain that came through, I think we're going to be dry for the remainder of this one. We got very lucky. Yeah, it's literally like 10 miles away.
South of us.
So the ball is loose on the snap. Man, it could not have started off worse on this drive for the Hilltoppers.
I think these are the mental things where you got to kind of just take a deep breath. Like, it's a lot tougher to focus the more tired you get.
Right.
I mean, and there's, you are tired at this point in the game.
Oh,
With
sure.
6 minutes to go, you're tired.
I'm tired.
I'm tired. But I think, this is when games are won, right? I mean, this is what happened last year. It was a tie game, nothing, 0-0 in Somerset.
They won it. And
they
again,
stuck
some
one in at the end of the
controversial
game.
calls, too, over there. But, go ask Tom Brady and Bill Belichick about the fourth quarter. This is where games are won and lost.
Right. Great job, great protection.
Look at that.
You got to get rid of it, though.
No, and he's going down. I don't think anybody was open. That's tough. That's a tough one right there.
It's probably a little bit of give and take, probably why they had so much time. They only rushed 3, maybe 4, and dropped everybody else off and did a nice job with the coverage. But Isaiah's had a nice game. He's a sophomore.
Yeah.
He's going to learn. I mean, it's third and a long way here, so you don't want to try to force one in. Still got a lot of time if you do have to punt. The important thing is not turning the ball over and giving up a big play. Maybe there's a screen or something here. They got 4 wide receivers. Jay Hall looks like the only back in the backfield.
Yeah, and I love, you mentioned this, Thomas being a sophomore. I love that. You look up and down the lineup, and the playmakers are sophomores. He throws it just to deaden the ball, get rid of it. It's an incomplete pass.
He didn't have any time there.
No. Wow. Fourth and, I'd say 26, just by the naked eye, at least 26 yards, maybe 25 yards.
A long way.
Too long, that's for sure, especially after the big stop that Durfee got. They had the ball at the 50. The holding penalty took them back, and they haven't been able to regroup, and they will have to punt it away. So Jason Hall back there for the long snap. With 5:24 to play, Durfee's going to get possession back, and it's a long snap. Oh, my goodness gracious. Somerset's going to get the ball in the red zone.
Oh, boy. So both teams trade bad snaps on the punt. But
And Durfee couldn't do anything with it.
Somerset's able to get the punt off, and Durfee is unable to. And Somerset's going to get it 1st and 10 inside the Durfee 20.
These are the breaks that you talked about earlier. Is Durfee just doesn't catch the breaks. The luck is never on the Hilltopper side, or at least it never seems to be.
You need a big play now on defense. Get it back.
Oh, you need a huge play. You're hoping for a turnover here.
Uh-oh.
Oh, he's got plenty. It was like a follow the leader type play. Had some blocking. I think that was that Romero? I think it was Romero.
It was, yeah, 32.
Oh, no.
Rodriguez.
Romero is number 5. Rodriguez is 32. So what looked like a really good run, it was only 2 yards. So 2nd and 8. But again, at this...
But it could have been a 2-yard loss. He made a couple of moves.
Right. At this point, this location on the field as well, you know, this is a easy 4-down offense. So 2 or 3 yards of play is good enough.
Looked like he moved, yeah.
Well, the 3 Hilltopper coaches sure thought it was a false start, but the officials kept the flags pocketed on that one. And I think the first down, yeah, it's going to be 1st and goal.
That play gives the Raiders a first down.
This is where you get a little strategy with the clock, too. I mean,
Ball is placed on the 6-yard line.
it's one of those things that, you know, under 4 minutes to go in the game. 40-second play clock you're looking at.
Romero.
You know, but I think he's going to get in here.
Right at the 1. Holy cow.
It'd almost be better off if he got in on that.
I know, because now it's going to take us down to 3 minutes.
Yeah, they don't have to snap it till the 3-minute mark. And I hate thinking like that because you never want to let somebody score.
Oh, I know.
You know, but it's kind of one of those things where at this point in the game, with this much time, all things considered, I don't know.
Somerset trying to punch it in and retake the lead. I don't think he got in. No, he was stopped again. But again, it's hurting the Hilltoppers almost to wait as well. It's a double-edged sword. And a timeout. Taylor burned his last, I think. This was his 3rd. I'm pretty sure he's used 2 already.
I think now you got to try to stop him. Because now
Well,
they
now-
just lost
right.
a couple yards. It's 3rd and 4. You got to try to stop him twice. Maybe on 1st down you let him score. I don't know. I think right here you got 2 chances and you got to try to stop him. I think. But again, what do I know?
You know a lot. You've been on the field. You played, you coached. You know a lot. And it's true. It's a good scenario because, I mean,
On 1st down, I think you let him score. Right now,
if they were close enough.
if they were here, but in this situation, I think you have to try to stop him twice.
And that, effectively will take you down just under 2 minutes. We're at 3:05. If you stop them twice, you're looking at a 2-minute game. Mind you, from the goal line.
Correct.
There's a false start.
There it is. 2 chances to stop them now. They need 9 instead of 4. I mean, that's a lot better.
Yeah.
Flags thrown
Wow.
before the play even starts. It's going to be a false start on the Raiders.
Big play.
Hilltoppers trying to get the crowd into it, too. Our student cheering section has gotten quite a bit louder over these last couple minutes.
I think you got to watch the pass on this.
Yeah.
Call me crazy, but I think
No,
you
you
got to
might roll
watch
out.
a little, sneak somebody out. The tight end or...
Are they going to hand it off? Is it Romero?
Nowhere.
Well, it might have been a keeper. I think Shaker might have
Didn't
kept
go
it.
anywhere. What do you got? Maybe 2? About the 5?
Yeah, about the 5. So we're looking at 4th and 5 in a goal line stand to preserve a tie as the clock
gonna
keeps
kick it?
rolling.
They didn't kick the extra point.
This is true. They didn't kick the extra point. Would they try for the field goal? Wouldn't that be something, huh? No, there's no way.
I think they are.
No? I'm going to tell you, if they're going to do this and kick into the wind after we saw a punch from this side of the field back in the first quarter, I'd be absolutely shocked.
Yeah, they're kicking it. We didn't even think of that.
I
didn't even cross my mind.
I think they're going to fake it, if you want my honest opinion. If they kick this, I'm going to be shocked. They're faking it. I told you. And he's going down. Ball is loose. It's still alive.
Oh, yeah. Look at this.
Out of play.
He's out of bounds.
He did not
He's
get
out of
there.
bounds. Oh, my God.
Have you ever?
That was unbelievable.
Have you ever?
What an effort, though, by number 5 there.
Oh my gosh.
Drew Romero and Shaker just, I mean, to have the wherewithal to just, it looked like he just threw it up almost over his head backwards. Like he didn't even see him.
Yeah, that's
Unbelievable.
No, you know what?
But I don't think it was a fake. I don't think, I think it would have been, I think the snap was a little high and it was a little, you think he fumbled the snap a little bit.
I really think it was a fake. But I think with Shaker, I didn't see him throw it because it would have been incomplete. I think it bounced. I think it was a fumble and it bounced up. Regardless, have you ever seen anything more ridiculous?
So now what do? You got the ball on your own 2-yard line.
Well, that's the next thing is you got to get out. You cannot. Can you imagine a safety here?
No, don't even say it.
I know. Well, we've seen crazier things. There's just seconds ago.
All right, there's some breathing room anyways.
Yeah, that's a good first down run considering where they were.
I think you play it conservative. Just keep running it, right? Just run the ball.
Yeah.
Play for overtime.
Yeah.
Because you don't want to turn it over down here.
No.
And to go 90 yards in a minute and a half.
Yeah. Clock is still rolling. There's no sense of urgency right now. Rue comes out, hopping a little bit.
That'll bring up second down.
Looked like Jaden Lewis, too, after that last play. He was down on the sideline as well after the scramble.
I think you just run it and hope to break one, and if not, you play for overtime.
Right. Hall with the handoff, trying to get through the pile, puts the shoulders down, still pumping those legs.
It's a great job. They're going for the ball, though. You got to be careful.
Going for the ball, and he's going for the sideline. And you know what? Credit the refs for letting him play. Letting the play go. That's a great run.
And Jason got out of bounds, so that's going to stop the clock. That might change your thinking a little bit here. A minute to go. Now you're out across the 25-yard line or so.
No,
it's a little different.
The clock is rolling. He didn't get out.
Didn't get out of bounds.
No, they stopped it to move the chains.
Now what are they blowing the whistle for, though? Oh, there you go.
Setting the ball.
Oh, so they set it and run it, and then, I don't know, that was weird.
Well, the clock rolls, but they're setting the play clock with the ball. The play clock that's invisible, B.
Got it. The one that's in the closet.
I can't. 36 seconds. Clock has stopped. Oh, I guess Durfee still had one more. Okay. Unless I miscounted and we just have it all wrong.
We'll just make it up as we go. How many timeouts do you get? Do we play overtime? We're just guessing.
We'll just call it opening night jitters. Yeah, ball is on the 24-yard line. It'll be 2nd and 9 for Durfee. The clock stopped at 36 seconds. We're still tied at 8 and been that way since the second quarter. I've done one overtime game. This is my 8th season. One overtime game. No, I'm sorry. Take that back. 2. One was Thanksgiving.
Reverse.
Wow, interesting.
Oh, he's got some room
Holly
out there.
has some room.
Look at this.
On the far side. He's going to get out of bounds, though, and he does not.
That's all right. They moved the chains to stop it.
Yep.
Right at midfield.
They can spike the ball.
You're going to spike it. Hurry up. Get set before they get the chain set.
I know. Exactly. You read my mind. Just get on the ball and wait.
There you go.
What a run, and the reverse paid off. I love the play call from Coach Brown.
You get the ball in your playmaker's hands. Get him outside in space. He's been able to make people miss. And that's what I said earlier, too, about playing multiple sports. He's been in big games. He's been in, maybe not a big football game, maybe not a close football game, but he's played in a lot of big basketball games last year. And he played big minutes down the stretch. So it's a calming voice when guys have been in big, even though he's only a sophomore.
Right.
So now it's invaluable experience, I think. Now what do you got?
Right at midfield, 20 seconds to go. Durfee on the their own 49-yard line.
I'd hit him right on the line. Look how far off they're playing.
They're gonna pass it. Thomas is looking to pass right out across the middle. It's incomplete. 2 Hilltoppers bunched up there. One of them being Medina. Kilt's 5 seconds, but the clock does stop, so I guess that's your saving grace.
I don't know. I know 15 seconds isn't a lot of time, but those corners are way, way, way off. You might want to just hit one of those, line up in the same formation and hit one of those guys again right on the line, see if they can get you another 10 to 12 yards and get out of bounds. Then at least you can reach the end zone for a Hail Mary, because right here you can't really reach.
No. No, you're right, because Somerset's playing.
So see how far off they are. If, you know, I don't know. I would maybe hit this kid right on the line here, 14. He can't, I don't know. But it's hard when you don't practice, though. If you don't have that play in the playbook, it's hard to just draw it up like you're playing in the schoolyard.
Oh, boy, look out. Thomas is going down.
That was one of Coach Winarski's things.
Yep.
If we didn't practice it during the week, we're not doing it on Friday night.
Yeah, makes sense. And that's going to take us to the end of regulation. Tied at 8 after 4 quarters. And I'll tell you right now, after a couple of odd penalties in the second quarter where Durfee could have taken a lead, after that major scrimmage or scramble just a couple moments ago, Somerset probably should be leading. Or, oh my gosh, we've seen so many weird things.
Well, in the goal line stand, I mean, you got to give the Durfee defense a lot of credit there with, you know.
Huge.
2 minutes.
2 minutes of overtime.
No, I think they're just like a 2 minute like break. Like a 2 minute like
Oh,
halftime.
timeout. Yeah.
Give everybody a chance to catch their breath. And
so it's been a while, but the last overtime game that I did, it was Thanksgiving, and we also had one. We had one. Conley had a playoff game. This is like maybe 5 years ago, 6 years ago, out at Southeastern, and it went to overtime. Basically, both teams got a chance to possess the ball
from the 10, right?
From the 10. Conley made the stop because they went on defense. I remember this. So they made the stop. Then they got the ball back, and they were able to kick a field goal to win it.
It'd be interesting to see a field goal. We haven't. The special teams has not been a strong suit of the game today. We've seen a couple of bot snaps, and Somerset. We disagree. You think it was a fake. You think it was a design fake. I think they were designing to. I think it was set up and it was supposed to be kicked. I think the snap was a little high or fumbled, and that's why that play went and turned into mayhem. And the only reason why I think that is because at that point in the game, you're going to pick your best play.
Okay.
And I don't think your best play is a fake. I think the fake comes into play more when there's more time in the game. You know, if it were me, I would rather put the ball in my best player's hands rather than try to win on a gimmick like that.
All right. Jake Hare has the rules for overtime. So there's a coin toss. Offense, defense, side of the field for a period. Okay. Loser of the toss has the option for even-numbered periods. Scoring. May attempt a field goal at any time. May only go for 2. Defense may score on a scrimmage play. On a try, ball is dead. Always a goal to go. Starts on 10, on the 10-yard line, unless carry over penalty. There's a lot of extra stuff here as well. So basically, both teams will have a chance to possess the ball. That's the bottom line.
First and 10 from the 10. First and goal from the 10. Both teams will get a chance with the ball. You can kick a field goal at any time, and you can also score on defense, is what I took from that. So it's not a dead ball if it's first and goal and you pick it off, you can run it back 100 yards. You can't run back the 2-point play, but you can score on a regulation play. So what strategy do you like if you win the toss? You taking the ball, you're going on defense first?
To be honest with you, I think I would go on defense first. And I say that because
I think you're right. I agree.
Yeah, I say that because if you don't score, Somerset gets the ball, they get to possess it, and they could just kick the field goal to win it.
Right. Agreed. If it's me, I want to be on defense first.
Yeah.
Because then you know what you're up against. They scored and they got the 2, or they scored and they didn't get the 2, or we stopped them, or they kicked a field goal, whatever. But now you know what you need to beat.
Yeah.
Whereas if you're on offense first, I think it's a little bit more difficult. From a strategy standpoint, from a play calling standpoint, from how you're going to handle the situation. I think you'd rather be on defense first. But let's see. I don't know. There's no.
Oh, they're switching sides here.
Durfee's ball first and goal.
Okay.
Is the way I took it. Somerset won the toss, deferred the. Which I don't know. I guess you don't defer, but I don't know how that works. But
yeah.
In any event, it looked like Somerset won the toss, and Durfee's going to have the ball first and goal from the 10, going in on the. What end zone is that? The south end zone.
That's the south end zone.
You know why I get confused? Because the old field used to run east to west, right? And everybody says it's like the old cliche. He's a north-south runner, but only in Fall River do we have a football field that ran east to west for.
Yeah, I hear you. All right, so the Hilltoppers will have it from the 10. They're going to go on offense. And we'll see what kind of plays they pull out of their hat, hopefully find the end zone.
Yeah, they got 4 minutes on the clock. I wonder, is that going to run too? You only get
So
4 minutes to have the ball?
4 plays, actually. Our official here in the booth saying 4 plays to score. So basically, you get a set of downs. That's why it's first and goal.
Like that.
First and goal from the 10. You get 4 downs to score.
Run the same play.
Why not?
I know that's what the offensive line coach is saying.
Yeah.
Run it again.
So that was about a 3 to 4 yard carry. Looking at second and goal from maybe the 6 or the 7. Kind of in between.
And it's nothing fancy. It seems like they're just coming right at him. The tight ends.
Yeah.
On the right. Actually, on this one, yeah. Oh, the tight end's right. The
Run
fullback,
it.
yeah, there he is.
Run it right down.
Tight end right, fullback right. Go ahead.
Hilltoppers can win this
boy.
game. Oh, there was a hole up the middle, and he cut outside.
That's all right. Got a couple. Now you got 2 cracks at it from the 4 yard line.
Yeah. Well, it sure looked like, though, from here there was a good hole going right down Main Street.
It didn't seem like the timing of that play was right. The
Yeah.
snap was like a half a second early, or guys didn't move right away, but J.O. made something happen. He got a couple of yards, and you got to punch it in.
All right, so he got a yard, so we'll say 3rd and goal from the 5. 1 yard carry, 5 yards to go, 2 downs to get in.
Same formation, tight end right.
Yeah, a lot of room on the left side.
Oh, the fullback's on the left side now, so a little opposite.
Yeah.
Opposite the tight end. You got the wide side out there. Oh, no. Jumped again.
Yeah.
It was the theme. We said
yeah.
We said it in the pregame. You know, you can't beat yourself. And now that 5 yard penalty changes everything. From a play calling standpoint.
Of course.
From, you know.
You're starting basically where you were, and you only have 2 downs now.
Right. And now, I mean, Isaiah's done a nice job on both sides of the field, but as a right-handed quarterback, you'd like to have the wide side of the field on the right side to be able to throw the ball.
Yeah. Jaden Lewis coming in.
Taylor's going to take a timeout.
Yeah. You know, pull the old reverser again. That worked very well just a couple minutes ago. Overtime on opening night.
It's been a great game, though. I mean, aside from that, the end of the second quarter there where things seemed to got a little out of hand.
Yeah.
Pretty well played game on both sides. Definitely interesting with keep you on your toes with the bad snap and the ball bouncing around close to the end zone, but the Durfee defense came up big in the 4th quarter, and here we are, hoping they can punch one in overtime.
So 3rd and goal from the 9 after the penalty.
They traded the tight end for another receiver. He's going to throw it.
He's going to throw it to
He's
the end zone.
He
has him. Touchdown, Hilltoppers!
All right.
Montero with the catch.
Great job by the offensive line. Great job by Thomas stepping up in the pocket. Hitting Montero on the little out route. Now here's a big play here. I think you have to go for 2. They're looking up saying, are we going to kick it? But according to that rule, you had to go for 2 on that paper we just read.
Yeah.
So I don't know. But they must have discussed that before the overtimes. Yeah, they're going for 2. Isaiah's staying out there.
Yeah, to be honest with you, you know that Somerset's going to go for 2. So at this rate, if you kicked it and you're up by 7, and they go for 2 and they win it by 8,
right?
Doesn't matter if you made this or not anyway. You might as well go for this.
What do you think here?
What do I think? You know, I didn't expect the pass there, that's for sure. So
Right. I think I'm going to give it to Jay Hall again, right off tackle.
That's what I'd
Got
like
me
to
3
see.
yards.
That's what I'd like to see.
Right behind your big center and your big right tackle. Although there's
The ball's
no
at the
tight
2,
end,
right?
it's
They
the
put it
same
at the 2-yard line,
the
right?
3, yeah.
Or the 3, yeah.
Uh-oh.
Oh, he's
Good
going to
job.
get in.
He got in.
2-point
Yes.
conversion is good, and the
Great job.
Hilltoppers lead it 16-8.
Great effort. Great effort from Jay Hall there. Broke a tackle in the backfield. Great effort. Now you just got to get a stop.
Yeah, he really is tough to tackle, I'll tell you.
That 2-point conversion is good. Ball ran by number 1, Jason Hall.
You got to dig deep here now.
Hey, you know, the
Keep him
defense
out of the end zone.
The defense has come up with the plays all night, really.
But to be on the flip side, worst case scenario, you're going to get the ball back. They can't beat you on this drive.
Yeah.
So you want to get a stop and finish them here, but you can't lose the game here. So
And that's why you take, I guess that's why you take the ball, right? So we both said we go on defense, but we were wrong. There's some room, and wow, how easy was that? Holy cow.
we hadn't seen that play, I
Nope.
don't think, tonight. That was like a jet sweep. I don't think they ran that all night. Guy got the corner.
Yep. One play, and Rodriguez is well, I don't want to say tied it. They've scored the touchdown, and it's a 2-point game.
So here it is.
Here's the game. So it's 16-14. And this can win the game for the Hilltoppers if they can get the stop. Open that window up here. Too many smudges.
Should have done that earlier.
I know, you know. I don't know why. You know why I shut it? Because it was raining, and I never reopened it. It's not like it's that cold out. It's not November football, that's for sure.
All right, here we go.
Hilltoppers defense trying to nail down the win here, but it'll have to wait.
Timeout is called by the Raiders.
You got to love the effort, though.
Oh, yeah. This has been a tremendous game. You know, Somerset didn't have the best season last year. They did make it into the tournament in their division, but they were the number 7 seed out of the 8 teams, and they had a below 500 record, so it wasn't a tremendous year for them. Not like, you know, maybe 4 years ago. Was it Stafford? Chase Stafford, was he one of the QBs? He was.
Yeah, I don't remember. I remember they had a couple of very good teams there. They made it. They played at Gillette one year, I believe.
Yeah.
You know, in the not so distant past.
I think it was
But
Stafford.
here we are tonight with
Yeah.
a 2-point play with the game on the line. Can't ask for more than that on opening night.
Right. Because as you said.
And nobody's left. It's pretty cool.
I know,
There's a
that's
pretty
great.
good crowd here, and that's what you like to see.
Hilltoppers are at the line. They're ready and waiting.
It's a cool night for the Falcons kids to be here. You know,
Yeah.
a lot of these kids played in that program, and you hope that a lot of the kids in that program end up playing here. And these are the type of games you want to be in.
So here we go. Somerset going for the tie. Durfee going for the win. Do they get the stop? They're pushing the pile.
He's in. He's in.
Yep, far sideline. The far line judge is indicating that we're tied up again. It's 16 all.
So now it's going to flip. So Somerset's going to get the ball to start here. And Durfee's going to be on defense. So it's not the end of the game. I mean, Somerset
Oh,
scored.
no.
Like, Durfee scored, and Somerset came right back and scored on the first play. So
Right.
Durfee has to, you know.
This is amazing.
Got to keep going.
Got to keep going. This is very exciting. It's kind of like penalty kicks in soccer, knowing that, you know, everybody's basically given the chance to score.
I'm glad football games don't end in penalty kicks. Imagine if we had to kick field goals to end the game.
Oh my gosh. Yeah, no.
I always hate, I mean, I hate, it's exciting to
Yeah.
watch, but after you play a whole soccer game like that, to have it come down to kicks,
Yeah.
it would be like a basketball game ending in free throws.
Yeah, I know. I know what you're saying.
But I guess in a soccer game you could play for days and nobody would score. I don't know.
I think that's the whole thing. I have to say, I've always wondered about, like, with football, you know, if you had to kick it, you know, kick field goals, you know, you start, obviously we're not talking high school here, but, you know, the NFL, some of these guys can really kick it. You know, you start at like the 40 and you back up every 10 yards. And that would be kind of cool because it's kind of a distance contest too. But all right, so Somerset gets it from the 10 and they're on offense to start this one. Oh, the ball is loose and he'll fall on it, but it's going to be a loss of about 5 yards.
That's the break we needed there. Now 2nd and 15.
All right, 2nd and goal from the 15 after the 5-yard loss. It's a bigger
Double
field.
handoff.
Yep, going for the reversal, basically. Rodriguez, who just scored, is going to get a big chunk of yards back. And he's awfully close to the goal line. Does he get across the 5, or is he right at the 5, I think?
He did a great job waiting for his blockers to kind of get out in front of him and pin that corner out, because the corner on the backside stayed home. Durfee looked like they were in pretty good position, but he had a couple of linemen out in front of him that cleared the way. And 3rd and goal from the 5.
All right, Blue Raiders back to the line. Hilltoppers defense out there for another play. Oh, I think he may have gotten in, and he does. Touchdown, Somerset. 22-16.
But again, these 2-point plays are going to determine the game too, because you know, this is a huge bounce back play where, you know, Durfee can't get down on themselves. You get a stop here, you're still okay.
Yeah.
Double handoff.
Another one. Oh,
Kept
did he
him
get
out.
stopped? They
Short.
stopped him.
Great job by the Durfee defense. That's a huge play.
Corey Riendo could not get in. He was stopped short.
Great job by the
Wow.
Durfee defense.
All right, so as you said now, the Hilltoppers can win it here.
That's it, a score and a 2-pointer.
One of the Hilltoppers down, though, on the far side.
Who's that? Number 40, looks like. Is that on her?
Number
Sebastian.
40 is, Sebastian Centeo, excuse me.
There is an injury on the field.
Seems to be all right.
Yeah, he's getting up and walking off on his own power, but definitely shaking up. Took the helmet off. All right, so now a 6-point game. Somerset is leading. The Hilltoppers, bottom line, they need to find the end zone should this one continue. They'll have four plays. 4 plays to get it done. 1st down and goal from the 10.
Back to the tight end set. The tight end's in there.
And it looks like they're gonna pass it too. This makes me nervous to do this on the first play. Chance an interception or so. Yeah, hand it off.
Nice.
There's a hole.
Nice. Good run.
Good run is right. Only about 2 or 3 yards, though, because the play started so much further back behind the line of scrimmage.
Yeah, that was.
Yeah,
It looked like you got more than that.
I know.
But you only got a couple.
Only got 2, so 2nd and 8. If you lined up under center in a run formation, he's probably at the 5 right now. A lot of room on that left side, the far side.
They got everybody this way.
I
Tight
know.
ends right, fullbacks right. Sweep out this way.
Oh, there's some
Go
room.
ahead, cut it up, get in.
Oh, he's going to be just short.
Good effort, though. Great
Yeah.
effort. Javon again.
I'd say, is that Tolly number 3?
It looks like they had to move Niger up to tight end on this. Oh, here he comes back, number 11. That's Mick.
Yeah.
He's been playing tight end, and Niger's been in the backfield with Jay Hall, and I think that's what they're going to go with here. Get the tight end,
right,
the fullback, and Jay behind the quarterback. Great run by Javon.
So the ball's at the 2, and this is once again one of those situations where you got to preach no penalties. You got 2 downs to go 2 yards. 3rd and goal from the 2 to tie it up. They'll hand it off.
There he is.
And he's in. Touchdown!
All right.
22-22. And now the
There it
Hilltoppers
is.
can win it.
Great job up front by the offensive line again. Nice hole to run through. Beautiful.
That was a great sequence of plays.
And you got to love the resiliency, too. Durfee,
Oh, yeah.
They were down 8-0. They tied it up.
I got to tell you, I know where.
You know, then Somerset scores on the first play of the first overtime.
Right.
You know, they get the 2 points. They've continuously bounced back, you know, and you haven't seen that. Probably didn't really see that last year. When things started to go bad, it kind of snowballed. Tonight,
Exactly.
they've had a couple of bad plays, and they've been able to stop the bleeding on multiple occasions, you know, to be able to keep the score tied at 8, to be able to force overtime and force double overtime. You know, and now here we are, and they get a chance to win it. They need 3 yards, and they win the game.
22-22. I don't think Durfee put up 3 touchdowns all last season in any game, to be honest with you. I mean, I know we're doing overtime rules here, but still, you know.
No, and they've moved the ball tonight. I mean, I
Yeah.
think the offense has played pretty well. They've made some mistakes, but they've made a lot of mistakes that are easily corrected.
Right.
You know,
Nothing egregious, that's for sure.
Exactly. Very minor things. A couple of penalties killed the drive. You know, but it's week 1, so
It's
those
week
things
1.
are easily fixed. And if you can get in the end zone here, it's all good.
Here we go. For the win, the Hilltoppers going for 2. They'll hand it off. Oh, he's going to get stuffed.
No.
Oh, my goodness.
Hey, why not keep playing?
Here
why
we go.
not keep playing? Let's keep playing all night.
Oh, my gosh.
And I know we've been praising Durfee, but you got to give Somerset some
Oh,
credit
yeah.
too, you know?
You kidding me? They were ready for that. And I have to tell you, they've come this way every time. I thought they would have gone the left side, far side of the field. Just because, again, there was quite a bit of room over there. Somerset was ready for this side of the field. Wow. All right.
Here we go.
We play on. Is this triple overtime?
3rd overtime.
3rd overtime, and the Hilltoppers will get to.
They're going to have the ball.
They'll possess first. I'm hungry. I haven't eaten dinner yet.
Me too.
Thank God Margaret gave me a slice of pizza way back at kickoff.
Where was my pizza, Margaret?
You got to get here earlier, B.
I know.
That's what it is. I lucked out.
All right. Well, you got to empty the playbook, right? You got anything left? Any more tricks up your sleeve here in the 3rd overtime?
You know, just make sure you get in.
Yeah.
Because I don't know how many more stops the defense has. That's the bottom line. You got to at least
You're gonna have to
the,
get one sooner or later.
You got to at least get the touchdown here. Make sure you go up by 6. Oh, how about that dive? Style points. It doesn't count on the scoreboard, but it was fun to watch.
We'll take it. I'd give it to him again. Same play.
Jason Hall, and you know, there's not much cushion left on this field turf after 12 years.
Yeah, this thing is beat, that's for sure.
It could not have felt good, but he got 6 yards, and 2 of those extra yards coming thanks to the somersault. Holy cow. Man, we've seen it all on opening night. All right, 2nd and goal from the 4.
There it is, he's in. Yes, he's
touchdown. 28-22, and the Hilltoppers back in front again.
Run it one more time. Run it one more time, the same thing. Right
Really?
off tackle.
Because you know what?
Don't take it out of his hands. Let him run it again.
You know, because he plowed right through the middle there, so there's no way that they'd stop him again. This is incredible.
But I like that they're bringing Javon in too, because now Somerset's got two things to think about.
Yeah.
Because those two guys have been they've been a thorn in Somerset's side all night. I mean, the two of them inside, outside.
Well, maybe
so
you'll
now
see.
you put them both on the field together and pick your poison.
Well, maybe you'll end up seeing the reverse here. Who knows? That one side of the field has been open this whole time. Somerset's been really staying down this side. It's I know it's how they're spreading out the field, but there's a lot of room on the left side of this field. Okay, this is to go up by 8. The 2-point conversion. Well, they're going to pass it. Oh, I don't think he got in. He is just short.
Oh, man.
Great tackle.
That's a great defensive play. I mean, that ball's thrown right on the money.
That's Shaker,
you know?
the QB. Shaker with the tackle.
Huge play. That was a great throw.
Yeah.
I think the only critique is I guess you got to run that route 1 yard deeper so
Right.
that you catch it, you're in. But
it's like the Keith Falk 4th down play in Indy.
yeah, same thing, right? That's exactly right. I mean, you got to know where that line is, but hey.
All right. Hey, the bottom line is Durfee is leading.
That's it.
So you're still forcing Somerset to have to score here. Twice.
Right. Right.
This is amazing. Okay. Somerset's ready to rock. The handoff. Oh, they're pushing the pile. That's going to be good for 5 yards, maybe 6 on 1st down.
This offense will wear you down. You know, they're just right at you, right at you, right at you.
But that's the thing, though, is Durfee really isn't like afraid of them. I mean, you know what you're going to get. It's just you gotta stop it.
You got to dig deep here.
Yeah. Timeout. Hilltoppers. We're going to be looking at a 2nd and 4. 2nd and goal from the 4 out of this timeout.
I'm so glad this thing didn't end in a tie.
Oh, yeah. That can't end in a tie. Not in football. Not in football.
We had one. I don't know what year it was, but we tied Dartmouth one year in the pouring rain. I think they just said, let's tie because everybody was soaked and it was pouring buckets. And it was like, let's just get out of here and call it quits.
Yeah. Well, that worked out well because it was a good tune-up for our senior year at New Bedford in the Mud Bowl.
Yeah.
I'll never forget that.
That was a lot of fun.
That was incredible.
We had a blast.
2nd and goal from the 4. Who has it? Is it the QB? Is it Shaker?
Number 4, I think. They bottled him up.
They bottled him up. So that's
no gain.
Riendo. No gain. 3rd down and goal from the 4.
2 stops.
2 stops, and they did give him a yard. So 3rd and goal from the 3. I'm glad we didn't start at 7 o'clock. We're pushing 10 here.
We'd be falling asleep.
We would have been pushing 10.
You can't be falling asleep in this.
No, of course not. We would have been pushing 10 o'clock, though, real time. Pitching it
get
out.
him.
Oh, he's
nice
down.
play. There he is again. Jason Hall in the backfield.
I tell you, the kid can play.
Offense, defense. Big time play.
That's a loss of 9 yards. It's going to be 4th and goal from the 12. And a stop here would win the game. Biggest play on defense of the game.
Huge play. Huge
Oh
play
my
right
gosh.
here. Here we go.
The ball was brought back to the 12-yard line. They were at the 3. So 4th and goal from the 12. Hilltoppers looking for the stop.
It's a pass.
They're going to pass it.
Oh, they got him covered. Oh, no. Wow.
Incomplete.
Wow.
The Hilltoppers are going to win it
Wow.
in triple overtime.
What a game. And they're lucky there because it looked like they had some room.
Oh, they had
What a
room.
win. What a win. Good for them after last year. Great win to start the season. It's been a few years since they've been 1-0.
Oh, that's for sure, because every year we've played Somerset in the last 4 or 5 seasons, the Hilltoppers have not won it. The last opening day win came against Bishop Conley right here at Durfee. That was 6 years ago.
That's a great game, a great win to build on as the year goes on. All these guys, that's invaluable experience playing in a close game like that, facing adversity multiple times and getting the win. I mean, you got to be pumped. What a game.
What a game. Triple overtime, folks. Can you believe it? And the defense did it again. 28-22 in triple overtime. The Hilltoppers winners on opening day on Falcons night. 1-0 to start the season after an 0-10 2018.
And I know it's been a long time coming for a lot of these kids that stuck it out all year last year.
Yep.
Took their lumps, came back, worked hard in the summer, worked hard the last couple weeks, getting ready to go. And that's why you do it.
Yeah.
Because of the feeling you have on Friday night in front of all your friends, getting the first win of the season, I mean, in triple overtime.
And you know what, too? Let's give a big shout out. Every fan here, nobody left. The student cheering section, everybody was here. Nobody left, and they supported the team all the way through this one because it was pretty dull. Let's be honest. It was a little bit dull there in the middle of the game.
Yeah.
But this was incredible to end on triple overtime. So congratulations to the Hilltoppers, a grinder, a hard-fought win, and the celebration is on down on the south end zone.
Congratulations to the Hilltoppers. Great win on opening night. And Ev, thanks for having me here tonight.
Oh, yeah, man. This is great. I'm glad you were able to do it. So we're going to sign off here. Great night for football. Win or lose, this was a tremendous game. Somerset's got nothing to be disappointed about. They played a great game as well. All right, for the crew behind the scenes, Jake Fitzgerald, our producer, our statistician, our rules official. He's covered everything tonight for us and camera. Daniel Keating and Nathan Saucier. BJ McDonald, my broadcast partner. I'm Evan Massoud saying so long from Durfee High School.